All right. I believe we are live. I am just quickly double checking. I just do want to make sure, just to make sure I'm not going crazy because this was a bit of a pain to try and get set up. But yeah, okay. So we are working. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. I'm gonna move my chair out of the way because I am gonna stand for this one. I'm not gonna sit for it. I'm going to stand for this stream here. So let me move some of this stuff out of the way just because I want to get my chair out of the action or out of here. Because how convenient was that happened right as I was about to or as the stream was about to start. Okay. So funny story. The Griffins broke on this. So we do have a while, and the Griffins don't take very long to print. So in the background, you won't hear my 3D printer because I am going to go ahead and just print new ones. Um, I probably should have expected that when it came to actually like moving this thing. So I will print new ones. Don't worry, it does not take that long. Each one takes like 40 or something minutes, but then you put them together, and then it only takes like 55. So I will reprint some of those. Um, again, does not take that long. Let me just pull my chair out of the way because I don't want my chair to be in here because I am going to stand again. And then let me just go ahead. Oh shoot! Don't want anything to fall. Pull out. Oh shoot! Okay, almost got it. I promise. Probably shouldn't have done this earlier when I had the free time. Okay, so now that that's good. Okay, now let me move my desk back into the right position. Okay, let me go ahead and adjust my camera just a little bit down. Perfect. And then we're going to push my desk a little bit forward so that it does line up. Okay, I don't have a countdown. I am going to grab something and put a countdown on it. I don't have a countdown, sorry. I'm still figuring that out. But yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this stream. Thank you guys so much for joining me. While I actually, while the stream is going, I'm going to open Bamboo and I'm going to send this print really quickly because if you are literally just joining, I dropped my super heavy booster model and broke the two Griffins because the Griffins are very, very weak and do not get and break very, very easily. So I will just be reprinting two of these Griffins so that we can go ahead and move on. So let me just slice them. Yeah, 42 minutes. That should actually be perfect because that should bring the time away and kind of kill time. So we are going to actually go ahead and send these and send it to the printer so that they can start printing so that, yes, I understand that carbon fiber breaks easily. Thank you. Okay. Welcome to my Flight 11 stream. That was a heck of a lot of setup. I shouldn't have done that. I decided that I was going to go live an hour earlier. So oops. Oops. So thank you guys so much for joining this stream. Anybody who is just joining, welcome to my stream. We are going to be covering any questions, like literally anything you could think of for Flight 11, we will be covering in today's stream. Um, we will be covering re-entry, we will be covering launch, we will hopefully be recovering, or not recovering, be covering the um hopefully be covering I don't know what this noise is. Hold on. Oh, you know what? Yep, here it is. Okay, so this is just a little tiny thing. Let me actually move my camera in a little bit so that I am focused in frame. Okay. This is nope, right here, right here. Okay. Let me actually move these two things out of the way really quickly, just so that my green screen doesn't flip out at this. So this is NASA's 24/7 stream. As you can see right here, we are still net for today at 6:15 Central Time. That is 7:15 my time. So I still do have. It's currently 5:08, so we still have about 2 hours until the liftoff. So this probably will be one of my longer streams if we do end up launching today, which weather seems fine, range seems fine, the vehicles seem honestly perfect. I don't see a reason, I mean, GSC seems fine. I don't see a reason why we wouldn't launch today. So, but in the case we do not launch, I will be streaming this again tomorrow. If they recycle till tomorrow, but let's hope that they don't have to recycle until tomorrow because I mean, this one hasn't felt like as long as a wait, but today felt very, very long. So, um, as you can see here, the Pope vent, according to NASA spaceflight, is going, which means that tank farm activity has started, thankfully. As you can see from the countdown up there, I can't really point too much at it. We have T minus 2 hours and 5 minutes. They will do the go no go propellant pull in about, give or take, like 45-ish minutes. Let me. Something happened. Hold on. Front tool cover fell. Oh, yep, and there we go. Okay, hold on. I'm just doing a YouTube thing, so this is probably gonna happen a couple times. But yeah, here is there. That's what we got. So chopsticks are open, vehicles are on the pad, Pope Vent is running. We are so far doing good. This is the actual launch stream itself. I don't know why I forgot to change this. Properties, my iPhone's camera. There we go. Okay. So this is what I'm gonna look like for the stream. I will like zoom in on myself a little bit more. I am using a background remover, so if I seem very like if it seems very glitchy, don't worry about that. That's just the background remover. It's trying to like cut me in and then cut literally everything else out. So my MacBook is probably gonna like glitch out a little bit. But as you can see, for me, this SpaceX stream starts at 6:43, which is like that's like a little over an hour and a half, or a little over an hour and a half away, which is nice. So, I am going to go ahead and put in a, let's see. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do for my countdown because I didn't actually anticipate having a countdown. So, yeah. So, before that, we're just gonna, mm, I don't know what I want to do because I don't want to start. I don't want to do a countdown, but I also don't want to not do a countdown. So, let me actually just find a countdown online if I can. So, Starship Flight 9 countdown. We'll see if that works. No, not 9. Gosh dang it. I meant 11, not 9. Um, that's Granger. I don't want Granger. Starship Flight Uh, test 11. Sure, that works. Okay. I don't know where I'm actually gonna put this. Because I didn't anticipate having a countdown. I probably should have, but I didn't. I mean, I could always just maybe take a suitcase out of this back room, potentially. Yeah, I think a suitcase probably would work. Maybe. We'll try it and see how it fares. If it doesn't fare well, then well, we'll figure it out. So, I'm actually gonna put it on this side of me because I won't be going on this side very much in the first place. So, well, actually no, because I do need. I don't know. I'm very indecisive if you guys can't already tell. So yeah, I literally just have my monitor connected to my TV because I was doing work on it earlier during like the not me streaming part. So I think I just disconnected. Yep, I just disconnected the HDMI cord. I'm very sorry. I really should have done this earlier, but I didn't, and I kind of regret that. So yeah, again, I'm very sorry. Okay, we do still have this up, so I'm going to hopefully put this right here in just a second. Let me actually move these two things back up onto the desk. Um, there we go. Okay, and then hopefully you just put that there. It's a little top heavy. Okay, that's very top heavy. Okay, so this probably won't work. Well, actually, I could just always put it like this, and like aim it and angle it down. Could do that. But I don't think I will because I don't. I genuinely don't feel like trying to figure out how to do this. So, um, we'll just say that that's fine, and we don't actually need a countdown. I will keep a countdown in the corner for me just so that I can make sure we're still on track. So I can give you. I'll just give you guys like little updates periodically, or I could put something like in the corner of a live countdown or something. I could do that. You know what? I probably am gonna do that. So let me go actually and find a video that I can use. Um, no, hold on one second. I'm getting printer issues because it's telling me that the front cover fell off when I know it didn't. Okay, issue has been resolved. Resume because the problem is fine. Okay, so you will hear my printer in the background. Just ignore it. It will be working on those grid fins. So we can put them back in. Okay, so to anybody who is just joining the stream, welcome. I am just quickly grabbing a launch countdown, so that I can have one up in the corner because I genuinely forgot to add a countdown in the corner. So, yeah, let me just let me go to history and this.
The booster didn't survive its return.
And
but the upper stage.
I could also always just use a SpaceX website's countdown. You know what? I think that's maybe what I'm going to do. If SpaceX website has a countdown. I don't know if SpaceX has a countdown. SpaceX.com. Again, I really shouldn't have done this earlier. But I didn't. So oops. Okay, yeah. That'll probably work. I'm gonna say that this will work. Maybe. Possibly. No, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. Honestly, I will just give you guys a progress report on the countdown as it happens. So, okay. Again, hello. If you're just joining me, we have an hour and 58 minutes until SpaceX is expected to start. Their stream should start in a little less than that, like hour 20 something. I'm actually going to go ahead and put NASA space flight's countdown over here just because I will be able to see if they like have any holds or anything because they say it in the top corner. I don't know if this other place will. So, yeah. Okay, so welcome to the stream. It's been a little bit set up. For those of you who just joined, when I was setting up my tower, I'm actually gonna move my camera over so I can show you my tower over here. I had a booster and a ship on it, and I moved it, and the booster fell. I caught the ship. I, however, didn't catch a booster. Two of the four grid fins broke, so you will be hearing my printer maybe in the background. Just ignore it. It's gonna be printing those last two grid fins, and then You actually may not hear it because I am on voice isolation, so you probably won't hear it. I will be using this to like demonstrate the flight plan for today's Starship launch. But last Block 2 is the last Block 2 launch, the last launch from Pad A, the last V2 ship, the last V2 booster. I may have said Block 1. If I said Block 1, ignore me. Um man, it's I'm not used to this. This is the last like we're gonna get from this. So um yeah. So for anybody who is just joining, the tank farm has started spooling up, which is a good sign that they are beginning to get the tank farm ready for prop load, which will happen. The go no go poll for prop load should be in about 45-ish minutes or so, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. I don't really know. I'm gonna say probably about 45-ish minutes. That is clouds over the Gulf, I think. I'm looking at it as the SpaceX stream or the NASA spaceflight stream. You can see the weather. I mean, looking from this bottom corner view, the the thing looks fine. Like the sky looks clear as day. There's clouds over the Gulf, but as long as they don't come towards us, then I think we'll be fine. I actually can't really tell if they're coming towards us. Tank farm is starting to spool up a little bit. I don't think they're coming towards the pad. Yeah, I want to say that they're not coming towards the pad. So we're not gonna worry, honestly. Like sorry about that. I don't want to worry. Like this is the last Starship flight that we're gonna get. Starship. I'm wearing my Starship shirt and my Starship hat. I probably will take it off at some point throughout the next little bit. So, oof. Clouds from the Gulf are looking iffy, but I don't think they're coming towards. I am actually going to make a new scene for weather so that we can. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're back. So I am going to make a new scene for the weather. There we go. Okay. Um, and then we will do. Let's see. I want my weather app. Oh, but I can't use that. Dang it. Okay. So let me go ahead and go to. Wait, don't I have weather down here? Oh, I thought I did. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So scripts, utilities, weather. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to OBS and then add in weather. You won't see me just for a bit. I am going to just quickly add myself video capture device. And then okay. And then device, we're going to do Matthew's iPhone 16 Pro. And then something happened. Maybe. Oh. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. 16 Pro Max. System effects active on system device. Okay. All right. So, all right. Now we're going to add. You guys are seeing my scene editing process thingy. Okay. So then we're gonna add macOS screen capture. And then we're gonna add that. Whoa. Yep. You're gonna see that just for a little bit. Oh, those clouds look. Yeesh. Well, those must be from very far off because those are not like from all the other camera views. I'm sorry I can't show it, but from all the other camera views, it doesn't look that bad. So, window capture. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Um, show full screen and hidden windows, which would be weather. Okay, this is the weather for me. Do not concern yourself with uh this. What is this thing doing? Oh. Oh, I got you. Okay, hold on. My printer is doing a funky. There we go. Okay. Sorry if you heard like a whirling for a little bit. My printer is just being weird. Okay, so um let me go ahead and I'm not even gonna bother doing the background remover thing. So okay, so I think we can actually just do Starbase as the thing we're gonna do. Um, so yeah, so let's see. We got Las Vegas, Utah, California, Heartwood, Surfside, Starbase. Okay, Starbase. So, partly, as you can see here, partly cloudy conditions expected around 9 p.m., which that's way past the window, so we won't have to worry about that. Wind gusts are up to 13 miles per hour. Let's look at the precipitation. So, precipitation looks like not bad. Okay, 3 a.m. That's not great. So we launch like 7, like yeah, like right here, weather is fine. We do not I don't think weather, well, I don't think rain is a concern. I think clouds maybe would possibly maybe become a concern. But I don't think that that would be that bad. So, yeah, we'll just keep weather up. And we will just kind of move. Oh, you guys couldn't actually see that. Oops. All right, that's fine. Oops. That's fine. All right, we'll come back to that later. Okay, so let's actually go back to those live cameras. Okay, tank farm. Tank farm is spooling up lots. Okay. That is great. Okay, so we are currently 1 hour and 50 minutes until the beginning of that window. I'm actually gonna turn this off because I don't really want to see the countdown right now. It just makes me more and more anxious. So, okay. So again, welcome to everybody who's just joining. This is my launch coverage stream. Um, I have a tower model, just over that way. Stop sharing. SpaceX footage. I am getting that. Okay, good. Okay. So, let me tilt my camera this way. I do have a tower right here. I actually am gonna put my ship model, oops, back on. If you're wondering why it only has 2 griffins instead of the 4, I dropped it when I was moving it, and it fell and the grid fins broke. It was a whole thing, so you will hear my printer in the background printing more grid fins. It's only 2 because I don't expect to drop it again, and if I drop it again, who cares, honestly. I'm probably going to, if you keep up with me on my X feed, and all of those fun things, um, okay, there we go. You will see, um, I'm probably going to launch these after um, the flight is over and done with. And then we will be back with block 3 with this thing right here. Give me one sec. My printer is doing funny things and it's messing with me. Okay, so yeah, we will be back with that at some point. Make sure that this is coming out properly. There we go. Okay. Um, But yeah, so let's actually talk about Block 3 for a while because if you haven't kept up with X literally at all, um Ship 39's nose cone rolled out on or this morning. So we have, I am actually not in frame centered. And oh, I was. There we go. Okay. And let me perfect. Okay. So block 3. Ship 39's nose cone rolled out this morning. Um, it doesn't have substantial differences, but there are some major, minor, whatever really you want to consider it as. They're minor differences, in my opinion, except for a couple of the big ones, and we will talk about those. So we're just, before we get to the ship, we're gonna talk about the booster first, because I am working on a booster model. So once Flight 12 comes around, I'm hoping I'm really, really, really hoping it happens in like early January. I know that's really, really optimistic of me, but I'll be on summer break in January and I really want to go see it in person. And they'll probably, if everything goes well in January, if they do launch Flight 12 in January, they'll probably go back in like March or so. Um, and I highly doubt that my family wants to go to Starbase for their spring break. So I also can't really do spring break because I'm gonna be on a cruise at spring break. I probably could see it from the cruise because we're going to the Bahamas. So, but we'll see. If I do, I will be sure to absolutely post about it if they do launch in March over spring break. But if they do launch over the summer, you can almost guarantee that I'm going to be there over the summer because I went to Florida over the summer, but didn't actually go to Starbase over the summer. So you can bet your butts that I will be going to Starbase this summer for a Starship launch. I will not let that opportunity slip out of my hands again. So yeah, so we do have a new Block 3 design. I do have a full booster block 3 design. But the guy I got it from, which would be Jackie Gone Wacky on X, love that guy, love his models. He didn't send me the engine section and the methane tank, so I did have to improvise. So this is not how it's gonna look. I actually do have the engine section with me. I just have to grab it. It will be right here. So this is what it was another guy on Maker World. This is what the engine section is going to look like. I am actually going to just hold this up and go yoink and just zoom in on there. Yeah, so this is the engine section. As you can see, it's just bare Raptors. But yeah, so I do also have components for the new tower that I am building, which has actual launch like arms or like hold down arms and stuff. Or I guess technically they're hold up arms because they don't hold the booster down, but whatever. Whatever. So, okay, status report. It is 5:30. We are about, let me actually go check on the the live streams and stuff. Let me go ahead and zoom back out to my proper zoom and move you back over here. Okay. Um, so if we look here, okay, we are at 1 hour and wow, okay. The tank farm is really spooling up. It's a lot of spooling. That I don't know why that gets me a little bit just because I don't remember seeing that much spooling. So, but I think it'll be fine. They probably would announce something on X or like call hold or something if there was something wrong. I mean, that doesn't seem too wrong for me, but yeah, if there was something wrong, they would be moving these transport stands out of the way and they would be getting the red team down to the pad literally as soon as possible. And we would get a an update on the SpaceX website itself on the actual like um stream. So I'm going to look at that. Great, 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 great. Okay, and then back to here. Okay, and then we're gonna reload this, of course, just to make sure. Yes, we are still go for 6:43. My time, for the start of the stream, which means that everything is good. That's just me and my mind playing tricks on me, mostly because this is the last Starship launch. So, um, okay, so we are an hour and 43 and change. We have about 30 or so minutes. I really need to stop looking at the clock because the time flew by and now it's super, super slow. So I need to stop looking at the clock. We are an hour and 43 and change. We have about 30-ish minutes until Starship actually does begin the propellant load procedure and they do the go no go poll. If they say no go on that, they will probably post on X that they are no go. But as always, we are always hoping that they will post Starship is go for propellant load in about an hour's time. So and then we'll start to see the frost lines, which will be nice. So let's talk about Pad A. How about or Pad 1 or whatever the heck you want to call it because It's whatever. So, Pad 1 started back in 2020, with or around 2019 with this thing right here, Starhopper. So, this does not have the one engine. This is supposed to be a test model for like actually like launching it and stuff. At my house, actually, yes, I will be launching this one. I will be launching this one and hopping that one. So that will be fun. I am working on an SN5/6 model that I'm also gonna hop, as well as the full stack. If you're just joining, the full stack will be launched as well after this flight goes successful. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So, Pad A started with Starhopper. Starhopper had a pretty lengthy history. It did a lot of cryo tests, it did a lot of static fires, and a lot of pre-burners. And it did actually do a hop. It did two hops. So it did the 18-meter hop and then the 150-meter hop. And yes, it did two hops. This first hop was not really like nobody really noticed it because it was at night and they didn't actually record it because it was only the 18-meter hop. So it basically did the equivalent of, oh, we're going up, we're going up, we're going up, we're going aside, and then we're dropping. So that was basically it for the 18-meter hop. And then you had the 150-meter hop, which of course was like you start over here and then it hopped and then it went all the way over here and it was like, oh yeah, yeah, and then it dropped. So, um, that was Starhopper, and then we had Mark One, which I don't have a model of because I don't really think anybody makes a model that I can print. So I will look into that because I now am very curious to see if that is a thing I can do. But either or, after Mark One, we had so many test vehicles until 5 and or SN5 and 6, which did the famous 150-meter hops. The water towers, they go wee and then boop. Um, Not much there. And then we had SN7, SN7.1, SN7, and SN7.2, which were all test cryo-proof vehicles. So there wasn't really much to that. And then we get onto these suborbital vehicles, which includes, but is not limited to, SN8, SN9, SN10, SN11, SN12 at some point, and then SN15. This is a model of SN8, I believe, because it doesn't have the little like tile black strip on the back. So yeah, so this is SN8. So basically, what it did was it static fired, it cryo tested. I haven't, yeah. So um, static fire cryo tested it, lifted off, and then it did its famous. You can see it's a little warped from the sun from when I accidentally left it outside. And then it did its famous belly flop maneuver. This again, ship will actually fly. I'm not gonna try and make it do the belly flop because I don't know how to do that. And then it kind of just did the flip, and then as everybody knows, SN8 kind of went, okay, we're coming in, or we flipped, and then we're like, oh no, we came in too fast, and then boom, and then exploded. SN9 was very similar in regards to how its flight test went. It again also did that flip, so it did the flip, but instead an engine TVC failed, which is thrust vector control systems. Um, it failed, and then the ship came down like that, and was like boom. Then SN10, that one did actually succeed. So it went up, it came down, it flipped, it landed. It more landed actually like this. I don't know why the aft flaps were out like this when it landed, but whatever. Let me actually move Hopper over here. And then it landed like this, and about 8 minutes later went and exploded. No one knows really why. Actually, we do know why. I just don't really know why. I just have to look that up. Um, and then SN 11 was a actually more of a failure than SN10. It came up and it came down. It started coming down, and then it went to ignite its engines and do the flip, and something happened, and the engines exploded, causing the entire vehicle to explode during the belly flop, and it went into a million pieces. Um, so yeah, SN12. again, didn't fly. It was a vehicle at some point. It was a vehicle at some point. It did have a nose cone. It was planned to be a full flight vehicle, but never actually got the chance to fly, which is whatever because we're in 2025 now. We've had so many Starship activities. And then SN-15 came down and did that perfect little like come down and then the little bounce that it did because it like hit the ground a little much and then the suspension went. So that was SN-15. So let me actually move this down so I don't keep looking at this. So yeah, that was suborbital hop era, which started at Pad B actually, which was a suborbital site for a long, long time. And then we get to the normal pad we know. The booster testing. I don't have a V1 ship that's in the same like size as all the rest of these, so we'll just quickly go through these. So, starting with Booster 4 and Ship 20, the first full stack Starship ever at Starbase. Uh, First intended to launch on the first integrated flight test, but actually, or never did, because of all the issues with B4 and Ship 20. So they ended up switching the first flight to um, Booster 7 and Ship Booster 7 and Ship 24. I have an entire video. Well, it's a two-part series. I'm working on part two right now. Um, and it's basically just disclosing like what would have happened if SpaceX did actually launch Booster 4 and Ship 20 as the first integrated flight test. So that will be covered relatively soon. So if you would like to go check that video out, I will leave it down in the description, and if I can figure out how the cards work somewhere either up here or over there. And so yeah, so that was the first Starship full stack, and then you have B7, which had so many things, had so many cryo tests, so many static fires, so many engine tests, so many like it had so many tests. So many tests. I do have a video coming up that I will be revealing once I kind of finish covering Pad A and its history, which I think you guys will very much enjoy. So, um, and so here's the thing. Oh, my voice cracked. Jeez. Okay. So then we had Booster 8, which was a thing. It just never flew. And then we had Booster 9 and Ship 25 on the second flight test. We all know how that went. The booster and ship went up, and the booster went for boost back burn. It did hot staging, went for boost back burn. And then the engine started exploding, and then the whole thing exploded in a grand spargadooks. So, and then I am actually just really quickly before I forget, I am just gonna check how the stream looks. Okay, stream looks fine. I had issues a little while back, that were kind of just like my stream was super super slow when I didn't really want it to be, so it was whatever. So, and then we had Booster 10 with Ship 26. I think it was Ship 28. Sorry, Ship 26 was the big ones about the big like no heat shield, no flaps, really no hardware except for the tanks themselves and the engines to verify the new static fire stand and stuff. At Massey's. So Ship 26 was actually just finished scrapping the other day, which is kind of like sad. So then for flight 3, you had Ship 28 with booster 10. Booster 10 exploded over the Gulf, and Ship 29, nope, 28. Ship 28 burned up on reentry due to a loss of attitude control. And so the booster, sorry, the ship. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. There's so much going on, and I'm kind of just like, whew. Okay. So then the next flight was with ship 29 and booster 11. We all know how that went. The booster came down, splashdown successfully. Ship successfully made it through re-entry, except for the one flap that burned up, but still was fine. And then we had Flight 5, which actually conveniently, today is the 1 year anniversary of Starship Flight 5. Yes, it is the 1 year anniversary of the first ever booster catch. So, happy anniversary, Starship Flight 5, and happy anniversary, Booster 12. Um, and its catch. Thankfully, it is still in the rocket garden, which a lot of people probably would have thought that it would have been scrapped by now because that's what SpaceX does. They don't really hold on to their big achievements. Like SM-15's gone, Starhopper's still here, but most of their big achievements are gone. So, um, Booster 14 is gone. Booster 15 is about to be gone. Unless it somehow, which I don't believe it will, unless it somehow comes down and somehow survives dropping about 100 meters um into the Gulf, which again I don't expect it to survive, so whatever. So and then was Flight 6 with Booster 13 and Ship 31, which was same thing. They tried to go for booster catch. They put it into the Gulf. And then ship came down on a beautiful daytime landing, and that is what we had for Starship flip and landing footage for the longest time until Flight 10, which I am getting to. So we'll just hush. I'm gonna check the countdown, see how we are looking. We are about an hour and 30 um, away from the launch. So we are about 15 minutes away now from um, the what am I saying? I'm all over the place. We're about 15 minutes away from the go no go poll of the full stack. So um yeah, so next up was ship 33 and booster. What booster was that? Booster 14. Now that was the start of the Block 2 era and arguably probably the more larger downfall of the program. Um, as most people know, the booster came down fine. It got caught by the chopsticks and flew for a second time on Flight 9, which again I am getting to. Um, but the ship did experience a RUD, we believe because of pogo, which is a like vibrations that happen in the engine section. Let me actually kind of explain to you what pogo is. Just a quick little brief. So it's basically when not enough fuel or there's not. Okay, let's start over. There are perfect conditions in a point where rockets' engines will not get enough fuel to the point where it'll kind of lower thrust and go back to thrust like very quickly, almost like a pogo stick. You go up and then down, and then you go up and then you go down. Um, and then so, but the if that scenario happens literally every single time, so it's like pogo, and then it happens again, and it's an endless loop. That's called pogo. It basically starts vibrating the ship up and down. So kind of like, let's say this was ship 33, it would start making the ship go like start shaking up and down. And then that is what happened on ship 33. Is it started vibrating and then the whole thing rutted. So then on flight 8 with booster 15, which is flying again on this flight, which we will cover the launch thing because we still have an hour or so and change, or the launch path sort of. So, um, with this we are oh, I cannot think of my words. I'm sorry. I'm super distracted. So, on Flight 8, we had Booster 15 and Ship 34. Ship 30 or Booster 15 did flawlessly, got caught obviously by the fact that it's sitting on the pad right now. And but Booster or not Booster, Ship 35, nope, Ship 34 experienced another RUD due to a completely unrelated just bad Raptor engine. So from what we found out from SpaceX was one of these sea level Raptor engines experienced a rapid unscheduled disassembly and caused the entire vehicle, um, or like it was these engines like right here, or it was these engines over here that like complete no, it was these four right here that had a safe shutdown, but then the vehicle started spinning like that, and then it was like this whole thing, and then one of the others finally shut down. I think it was this one, and then caused the ship to start like doing that, and it was a whole thing until the AFTS detonated the ship itself. If you don't know what AFTS stands for, that stands for automated flight termination or flight termination system. But they're basically charges that they put on the booster and ship. So in a case that something like that happens, they can demise the vehicle without large chunks falling down, and posing more of a risk on society. So yeah, that was two failures in a row. That was a very big hit to SpaceX, and the media was all over it. Um, then came Flight 9, which was a lot better, but was not perfect. So ship 35 and booster 14 for a second time. Um, booster 14 was stressed to its absolute limits. Its transfer tube inside of the its methane transfer tube inside of the oxygen tank ruptured, causing the entire vehicle to experience a rapid unscheduled disassembly or a RUD, and cause the entire booster to demise upon engine relight because of the angle attack that it was at. I'm just gonna demonstrate it with the Squawk 2 booster. It's not quite the same, but it's whatever. So let's say the booster was coming like or down like this on flight 8. The booster this time came down like this. Like a lot more aggressive of an attack. It was like 18 degrees, which may not seem that much from like this to like this, but that's enough to put enough stresses on the booster to be like bang. So um the stresses were too much. And then the um the methane transfer tube started bending, and then the whole thing blew up, and so on and so forth. So um yeah. Um I'm gonna pause for 1 second. I do want to grab my iPad because I do actually need something to actually watch the stream on. And I guess for a countdown, so I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I am back. I just again did want to grab my iPad not only for maybe a countdown, but also I think I'll probably start doing the countdown around T minus 11, not 11. Gosh, dang. Um, about about the time that they like once they start go for propellant load, I'll probably start the countdown. But I am just going to go ahead and pull up the stream so that I can watch it on my iPad because I can't listen to it on here. It's just a whole thing. But I can listen to it on here. So I will because it'll echo and that's not great. So I am gonna watch it on here with my earbuds in or with one of them at least, not both of them. So, continuing off, left off in Flight 9, so we're in Flight 10 now, which was Booster 16, the brand new booster, not a reflown booster, and Ship 37 right here. Because Ship 36, as many of you probably know, maybe by just being in the Starship program or the media, that 36 blew up on the stand because of a COPV failure. That was not great. So that's yeah. Um, but then it got replaced by booster, or by ship 37 and was static fired on the OLM. It was this whole big thing. So, um, um, so then Flight 10, arguably, so far, was the best flight of the Block 2 vehicle. Yes, it had its problems, and it had its little tiny setbacks, but it was nothing major compared to what it was. So, um, this is just being me again. I'm gonna check on the countdown. We're probably about 20-ish so minutes away. Yeah, okay. So we are net 1 hour and 22 minutes away. It seems that the tank farm, that huge venting has chilled down. Thankfully, because it scared me. It scared the living heck out of me. Oh, I see where it's coming from. Okay. It's coming from the methane like dump valves and stuff and whatever that thing is. I don't really know how to describe it. I just know it as the methane dump valves. So let me pull up X so that I can just have this open in the background. I don't think that's the right one. Let me see. X. Perfecto. Okay. Um so yeah. Um yeah, so Flight 10 arguably was the best flight thus far. I will mention that once they do say go for prop load, you will see event somewhere. Okay, well there's a ship there. Somewhere over in this area over here, on the tower, it'll start venting out, and that will let you know that the ship vent has started, or the ship prop load has started. And then over on the, let me just nope, that is the frames. I don't want that to move. There we go. Okay. I want me to move. Nope, that is still not me. Dang it. Okay. Um, okay, so there we go. Okay, here I am. So right here, oh, let me just move myself over here. Right here, around in this area, we should start seeing a vent off of the OLM, which is called the OLM vent, which does mean that prop load on the booster has started, which is a good sign that they are going for today's attempt, which, again, I have no reason why they shouldn't go for today's attempt, but in the case that they don't go, those signs, that the fact that they aren't there, if they don't tweet and those aren't there, then we know that that is not happening today. But again, I have literally all the confidence in the world that they're going to go for today. So, yeah. Um, yeah, Flight 10 was by far the best flight thus far. They tested the engine configuration on booster 16 with the two engines and then the one from the outer ring. That did flawlessly. And then Ship 37 was basically the savior of this entire version of the ship. You can kind of see from all the battle scars. For the people who have been with me on this channel and been on this journey with me for a while, have known that I've used this a lot. Literally since the beginning of the program, I used this ship, or not the beginning of the program, the beginning of the Block 2 variants. Maybe Ship 34 is when I printed it, but whatever. Um, this, I've had this for a while, and I thought now that it's Ship 37, so now that Ship 37 is good, we can just mess it up like the way that it was. So I did make it white on the back, on the nose cone and near the flaps and areas for the ablative layer that kind of came off, and then you can see the reentry marks and stuff. And then you do see the little holes in the, not only the flaps but also the hole over, because there's the hole over here in the thing because of the explosion, and then just the destroyed flaps on both sides. But the the catch points held up honestly outstandingly, and I'm very, very surprised how well it did. Well, surprised, not really surprised, because it's shipped, so it's whatever. Did my iPad die again? No, it didn't. Okay, there it is. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Well, my iPad is crashing out. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to go to um, let's do SpaceX. There we go. I am also gonna have the SpaceX like X feed in the side so that I can monitor to see when they do end up posting. So hopefully. Okay. So the last post they made was 4 hours ago. on track for today's Starship flight test. The launch window is from 6:15 p.m. CT until 7:30 p.m. CT. Live coverage starts 30 minutes before launch. And that was 4 hours ago. And we are still yet to see a post from them yet. So once I do see a post, I'm gonna keep refreshing around the T minus 15-minute mark. I'm actually gonna go to the live cameras. Okay, so we should be getting that post relatively soon if they are going for today, because net is 1 hour 16 minutes. They should literally any minute send a post if they're going for today, um, saying that prop load is a go. So um, sorry, I keep checking over at my printer. I'm just waiting for those griffins to be done. Hopefully those things are done by the time they call go for prop load. So again, I'm just gonna keep refreshing on this page until I see information that we are go for today. So I am also going to get rid of some of the tabs in the background because my iPad is old and it is slow. So that's the best I can say about it. But yeah, so Flight 10 was fine. So it was the best one yet, or thus far. So now, let's talk about this secret video that I have been working on. I literally worked on it all day today because I had so much time on my hands because of this. And maybe we should wait. I'm so focused on this. I'm gonna keep like looking down at this, and you won't have my full attention. So we're gonna pay attention to these cameras and see if I'm gonna actually move the ship over here so that it doesn't keep glitching out the thing. Um, and then we'll see if all okay. So what we are looking for again is the vent that is gonna go here somewhere. And then the vent on the OLM itself, which is over there. It'll be around under the QD port somewhere. So that is what we are looking for. So let's sit and wait. Let's just hold tight. Either SpaceX will post on X saying that we are go for prop load before or they will post that after we see the vents, which, as I'm seeing, I believe, I believe, I believe that the lines for the OLM are starting to. Oh, okay. I see the little port on the tower. It should be right here is where it should vent out, but I do believe those pipes are starting to get frost. Maybe. I want to say that they're starting to get frosty, so hopefully in the next few minutes. It is an hour and 14 now. Um, and hopefully we do see those vents starting up soon. With the tower and um, the OLM vent. So if you see my face starting to get red, that's just me being stressed. Don't worry about it. It's nothing serious. Let's see. Let's hope that I mean, I don't see any like red team members going to the um blockade. So I think we're probably still good. Fingers crossed. Again, waiting for the if you're just joining, we are waiting for the OLM vent and the tower vent to start puffing out. So yeah. And with the OLM vent, it is probably going to be a tiny, tiny little thing, so we probably won't be able to see it off the bat. I am going to go ahead and check on X and see if you didn't hear my Griffins just finished printing, which thankfully were right before prop load, so yeah. Hopefully we get confirmation soon that we are go for prop load for today's flight, which would be honestly amazing. So it's the last flight of the Block 2 vehicle, so I'm hoping that we see it soon. Again, this will happen on the tower and the OLM. So if you're just joining, the tower vent is going to be right here, and then the OLM vent is going to be somewhere like under the QD ports and stuff. like somewhere on one of the legs, you will see a tiny little vent start to puff out. So again, we are just waiting for confirmation from SpaceX that they are going for propellant load for today. Um, again, I'm very much hoping for that. I think all of us are. The range looks good, weather looks good. Nothing looks bad per se, so we're basically just waiting for that OLM vent and the tower vent to start, or for SpaceX to post saying that they are go for prop load. So they probably are going through their prop load procedures now. So yeah, we are just going to be waiting here. Let me go ahead and make sure that this is like live. Yeah, this is live. Okay, just making sure. Um, yeah, let's hope. I don't think the towers pipes are starting to get frosty yet. I think the OLM's vents are starting to get a little frosty. Yeah. I don't know if it's the Pope vent that turns off when we know that they're going for prop load. I really like. I've watched so many NASA spaceflight streams. I probably could think of it, but at this point of how literally stressed I am, I don't really know and don't really remember. I think the OLM's lines are getting frosty. I think they could also just be the haze from the heat because yeah. So again, weather looks good. GSE I think looks good. Um, vehicles look healthy. So let's really just hope that they are go. I'm literally like watching as I'm doing or swapping out these griffins. I'm literally watching the notification thing um on my iPad to see the notification pop up because we are about like 4 or 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes now past that sort of point where they started their go no go poll. So either they are just starting now. I don't see any delays on their website, and I don't see or not on the website on the X page, and I don't see any date changes. So I think we are still good for today. They could again just be running through their go no go polls for today, and we probably will see something soon saying whether they're going or not going today. Again, we all hope that they are going for today. Nothing seems wrong right now, so I'm probably gonna say that they're probably gonna go for today. But again, that's a very, 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 very big probably, and not at all certain that this is gonna happen today. So, but as always, we all wish that it does happen today. We are about an hour or so and change away um, from the launch itself. I really should turn on this fan. It's starting to get toasty in here. Let's see. Propellant lines. I can't tell if that's frost. I don't know if that's frost or not on the tower's lines. I'm not sure. Okay. I may actually pull up the SpaceX stream or the NASA Spaceflight stream again just to double check. Well, I feel like they would have turned off the Pope pen and stuff for now. Like if it was in that case that they weren't going for today. So I'm gonna put NASA Spaceflight's stream on in the background. Just while we wait, you will see my AirPod go in. Actually, hold on. I do think that the tower vent has started, which is good indications that they are. I think that's tower vent. Hold on. Let me go back. Oh no, too far back. Still too far back. Yes. Okay. So we do have tower vent, which means that they are go for prop load on the ship. I believe that is tower vent. That should be tower vent. So we should be a go on today's launch. So I'm going to disconnect from here. I'm gonna turn off my Bluetooth. There we go. Okay. Um, yeesh, yeeshy fishies. Hello, camera. Oh, does Bluetooth need to be on? I wonder if Bluetooth needs to be on. I don't know. Webcam. Camera. Okay, hold on 1 second. My camera is being weird. Okay, yeah, we do have a confirmation of that prop vent. So, yeah, that is good indication. I'm trying to just see why my phone isn't phoning. Okay, I think it turned off, so let me just quickly, um, get my cameras back up and working. I don't know why it just stopped working. Okay, Mac webcam, properties, desk view, cameras. Okay, so something is going on because my camera on my phone is not working. Um, I don't know why that's happening because it was working like not too long ago. Um, so that's weird, but yeah, so I can confirm that tower event is on, so we should be getting that post from SpaceX like sooner or later saying that we are go for pop load for today. So let me go ahead and pop back into X. Um let's see. Oh, you know what? Maybe it was because maybe my AirPods are connected to my phone. Maybe that's the reason. Let me go ahead and turn off Bluetooth. Oh wait, no. Let me turn back on Wi-Fi. My AirPods are disconnected, and let me just go ahead and set that up, and hopefully that works. Okay. To anybody who is just joining, I'm sorry, my camera is not working at the moment. I am working. Oh, there we go. Okay, hold on. I think I heard the noise. Yes. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, that took me just a little bit to figure that out. So, all right, we are back on the camera side of things, so that is good. Okay, so all right, we have tower vent and OLM vent, which means that we should be getting confirmation from SpaceX. It is an hour and 4 away um from the actual thing. So let's go ahead and see what we're looking at um for this. So yeah, let me log out and go to, I was in the wrong account. I want to be in the other account. Okay, so from what I can see here, OLM vent and tower vent are on and running, which is a good sign of we are going for today. So, all right, I am again just looking for the confirmation from SpaceX. Again, I'm literally just looking to make sure. Okay, yeah, tower vent and OLM vent are getting very much intensified, which means we should be getting confirmation from SpaceX um, in the next couple of minutes. Hopefully, we get confirmation from SpaceX. So let me go ahead and pop into the SpaceX thing. I'm sorry that this is taking me so incredibly like long. It's my for people who are just joining, my iHUD is really slow. And I I need a new one very bad. So, yeah. Okay. So again, we're just waiting for them to announce prop load is go. So they should be saying that pretty soon because Tower Vent is like, as you can see right here, Tower Vent is running, OLM Vent is running. So we should literally be getting the notification that they're go for today any minute. So yeah. Okay. Now that that's going, I can focus. The big announcement I had was I have been working on a video. It was made by Mini Starbase was a comment, I think. Let me actually just pull up his page really, really quickly just to make sure that I am not getting the wrong person. Um, I made a post a little while ago asking people like just what they wanted to see from my channel, like if I was gonna. Okay, so it was if I was going to make any video relating to spaceflight, i.e. SpaceX or Starship, SpaceX, NASA, Blue Origin, ULA, etc., what videos, ideas slash topics would you watch? Please comment, quote, or comment slash quote your responses, and I'll put them into consideration. Please repost quote this to others, and then me. So let me check who the comment was by. Starship Project. I'm sorry, it was Starship Project. Um, Thank you, Starship Projects, for giving me that idea because I am doing that. Yes, that is the video I've been working on today during my downtime, just waiting for this whole thing to start. I was working on this this video series. So let me go ahead and pull up the let me go ahead and pull up my Canva. I'm not gonna actually, or actually I will because I can. Let me quickly run to this other thing. Which one was it? This one. Okay. Um, so let me go to here. Um, I don't know if you can see it. I'm just gonna go Canva, just to see. Yeah, you guys aren't seeing that. It's fine. Okay, so currently I'm basically going by thumbnails just because I work on the thumbnails first and then I actually start doing the videos and stuff. So the title of these videos, because yes, there are multiple of them. There are not just one. There are multiple. Um, Starship, the name of the series will be Starship Full History. This first video's this first video will be called The Birth of Starship, and as you probably can get from that, will be including, and I will just give you a little sneak peek of this one, and then the other ones you will just have to wait. The Birth of Starship is going to include Starhopper, SN1, or no, Starhopper. I'm gonna actually go to Google Docs because I have everything written down in Google Docs and I need to make sure that I get this information right so that I don't like give you guys false information. So it is 6:15, and they still haven't announced prop load, which the vents are on, so I'm gonna say maybe they just aren't announcing it anymore. I don't know. Okay. So the okay, so the birth of Starship consists of Starhopper, Starship Mark 1, SN1, SN2, SN3, SN4, SN5, SN6, SN7, SN7.1, and SN7.2. Now those will be the vehicles and their histories that are posted. I can confirm that the video will be around 18 minutes long, so if you do want to go check that out, please go check that out. I spent so much time. I've spent probably the last week working on this video. So if you could, that would be absolutely great. Um, but yes, I said videos. I will go ahead and tell you the names of each of these videos. So we have the next part will be high altitude flight testing and dawn of super heavy. And then the next video will be Starship's first steps to orbit. Um, the let me see. So it's the first, the second, the third, and then the fourth video will be Phoenix is reborn, and then um the next video will be the end of an era, which is like I will give some spoilers in this. That will be like Booster 18 and Ship 39, which Ship 39's nose cone rolled out this morning, so and by the time I actually end up getting to this video, Block 3 either will already have launched its first mission, or will be almost to the point, or like cryo testing and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that will be covering like Booster 18, Booster 18.1, 18.3, and Ship 39, Ship 39.1, and like all the different like things and stuff. So, I really hope you guys enjoy this whole series. This is going to take me a while because I'm covering the full history of Starship, not just the flights, so not just Starhopper and then SN5 and then SN6. I'm covering literally every single test article in collaboration with Next Spaceflight. I'm covering every single vehicle that they have documented down, which, spoiler, is a lot and has a lot of information. So I really hope you guys enjoy that. I know I honestly I was kind of stressed making it today because I was worrying about the flight and also worrying about all this other stuff. So I really hope you guys enjoy it. Because I know I certainly will as well. So let me actually go to properties and make sure that this is getting the right thing. So Google Chrome, and okay, okay, all right. So okay, live cameras. Oh, okay, we're on a hold. Why are we on a hold? I don't know why it says we're on a hold. That's probably fine. Okay, so tower vent is going a lot. Um, um, OLM vent is going a lot. Um, So yeah, I don't know why it says hold. It must be because SpaceX hasn't announced the actual like that it's going for prop load, so it's calling it a hold. Like none of the booster transport stands and stuff are actually moving, so I'm gonna assume they're not in a hold. I'm gonna assume that they're gonna keep on rolling. Like I'm looking on SpaceX website, yeah, or on the thing, and there's not any notification. Oh, post from SpaceX. What do we got? That's good. Okay, the Starship team is go for prop load, which means that yes, they started on time, thankfully. So ignore that hold in the top. They're not in a hold. They just announced 30 seconds ago that they are go for prop load, which this is where the stress starts. I am going to while we still have time, we have about an hour or so and change, probably a little bit less. I'm gonna turn on this fan because I'm very I'm starting to get warm. I get warm when I'm stressed. So you probably will see the ship kind of moving and rocking a little bit. That's okay. Okay, yeah. OLM Ven and Tower Ven are it's good. Okay. OLM Ven and Tower Ven are looking pretty good. So let's actually go ahead and talk about today's um flight plans. So let me go ahead and move over here to my lovely little Starship model. It's not really little. I'm actually going to zoom out and I'm going to bring this forward. So we're going to do 5 and then bring you like down here. Well, we're going to go point. No, we'll do 1. We'll do 1 and then we'll move the camera down because it is kind of facing up. There we go. Okay. Let me see how that looks. If that looks okay, then yeah. Okay, we look okay. All right, perfecto. So, with today's flight test, we have a pretty. I learned from my mistakes. I am taking the booster and ship off of the pad to make sure that they don't fall again. Because yes, that did happen. If you're just joining, I was moving my models earlier and they fell, and it was this whole thing where I had to reprint the grid fins, which are 2 of the 4 grid fins, which didn't take too much time, but was still like an hassle. But that is beyond the point. So let me make sure that it is in frame. It is almost in frame. I can't move you up anymore, which I guess is fine. So let me just move this a little bit more out of the way. You up a tad. And then let's see how that looks. How does that look? That looks perfect. Okay. So, let me grab. I'm actually gonna bring my MacBook over so that I can make sure that I get everything in frame. I'm gonna put you over here. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab the ship and booster for today's flights, which are Ship 38 and Booster 15-2. So if you don't already know, and if you're literally just joining the Starship program and you know nothing about Starship or what the heck is going on, or well, you know some stuff, but you don't know like what vehicles are flying today, well, you are in luck because I am about to tell you every single thing you need to know for today's flight test. I broke the pins on these a little ways back, so I am just trying to put the hot staging ring on the best that I can. So, okay, so this is our flight stack for today's launch, which this feels kind of like PTSD because it was not very long ago that we were actually like here and explaining these. So we are on Starship Flight 11. This is the last flight of the Block 2 vehicle. Ship 30, Booster 15. So yeah, you're gonna see it wobble a little bit. That is okay. It's just a tiny little wobble because of the fan. So let's go ahead and talk about today's flight. So we already got, if you're just joining, we already got confirmation that the Starship team is go for prop load. We will get an update. I'm just checking really quickly. We will get an update from SpaceX if they are not go for prop, or if they're not continuing with the flight, which I don't see why they wouldn't, because yeah. So they announced 4 minutes ago that we are go for flight. So let's go ahead and talk about our honestly, frankly beautiful stack for today. So we have Ship 38 and Booster 15 on its second flight. Again, if you're just joining. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the flight plan. I've said that like 16 times already. I'm very sorry, but it's whatever. Okay. So at T minus 0 seconds, I am jumping straight ahead to T minus 0 because I don't want to do the pre-launch countdown. If we have time, I'll go over that. But right now I don't want to. So, okay. So at T minus 0 seconds, Starship will lift off from Pad A in Starbase, Texas, and will begin its pitch over maneuver or its tower avoidance maneuver. It will do a. I have to hold this very tight because these two on the top aren't very secure. Um, it will then start. It will do its roll program and then start doing its pitch over maneuver. A little while later, I don't know exact times. It will do stage separation, and then the booster will come back to do its boost back burn. We will put you aside because we won't need you for a little bit. The booster will come back and start its boost back burn, and then after, as you can see, booster engines are not looking so good. I've dropped this thing a couple times, but it's fine. So then after boost back shutdown is achieved, then the hot staging ring will separate away from the booster to go fall somewhere in the Gulf. We don't care about the hot staging ring anymore. That will not happen in Block 3 vehicles. That hot staging ring will be attached. Let me actually show you. This hot staging ring will be attached, so when it does its boost back burn, it will not jettison that hot staging ring like Block 1 does, but as seen from or from Flight 3 of Starship, they do need to jettison this hot staging ring to not be so heavy that they can't land the thing properly. So, on the booster will then come down, I believe, on the same angle of attack that it did on flight 10. So last flight, it'll start coming down, and then once it's over the Gulf, it'll light 13 engines, the outer 10 and the inner 3. Again, I'm missing one of these, but that's fine. So they will have it'll be the 13, the outer 10, inner 3. It'll come down, it'll then switch to a new configuration with the 3 and then 2 additional ones, which we don't know what additional ones they're going to be using quite yet. And then it'll go down to the normal 3, and then it will splash down in the Gulf of Mexico, and then the flight for the booster will have concluded. It'll hover about here where the chopstick height is, and then it'll drop about 100 meters down to the Gulf and hopefully explode. Yes, you don't say hopefully explode a lot in the Starship program, but with this, we want it to explode because of what happened with Booster 13 and the whole thing with it getting stuck in the Gulf of Mexico and that whole fiasco. So we don't really want to deal with that again. So and then going back to the ship will continue coasting. It'll do a little roll program and roll like this. its engines will shut down. It'll probably do a little bit of flap movement. That is fine. It'll probably do a little bit of reorienting. So if the I say this like I'm not gonna be like monitoring every single little thing that's gonna happen today. But it is going to like it's gonna go and then it's going to do the flat movement and it's going to reorientate or reorient for PEZ deployment because these have Starlink simulators in them, like 8 of them, I think. So the PEZ door will open. They will launch out the Starlink simulators one by one, about one a minute, um, or one set a minute, I think is what it is. And then they will launch out each of the Starlink simulators. Then they will close the door. I'm kind of rushing through this because we have not very long until the coverage starts. Yeah, we have like 20 or like 10 or 20 minutes. So, um the vehicle will then um do another orientation to kind of face retrograde, and we'll activate one of these sea level engines. If you can see here, one of these sea level engines will be relit for the Raptor engine relight. And then after that happens, the ship will orient into the reentry position, and then fold the flaps into the reentry position as well. And then hopefully we will see a successful reentry, and then it will become subsonic, and then transonic, and then subsonic, and then it'll hopefully do a successful flip, and then we'll see a splashdown. I hope that thing doesn't explode again like it did last time. When it tipped over into the water, I hope it just stays in one piece so they can recover it. Or like get some valuable data from it. And hopefully it won't turn orange again. I think that was only because of the metallic tile test that they did last time. So yeah, but then hopefully we'll see a successful reentry and splashdown of the vehicle today. And then we will be done V with V2 of Starship, and then we will move on to Block 3, which will have Booster 18 and Ship 39 as of right now are the two vehicles that will be flying on those flights. So um yeah. So yeah, I'm very excited for this flight. I don't know about you guys. I am very excited. We do not have very much time left until they actually start the live broadcast and actually start doing things. So yeah, I'm gonna take this off for a second and put this on the ground so that it doesn't again fall, because if you were not here earlier, for those who have joined late, I was moving the tower with the ship and booster still on it, and the grid fins of the booster are very like fragile. So they broke very 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 easily. So it fell. I caught the ship, but I missed the booster. And the booster came crashing down. Everything was fine except those two grid fins, which completely shattered. So I did have to print at the beginning of the stream. I did have to print new ones. So yeah. So let me go ahead and put this hot staging ring. It's nothing wrong with the hot staging ring. It's just the burn marks and the. I left this out in the sun for a little bit, and it kind of warped it. So it's kind of all messed up, but it's fine because it still stacks it and it still does its job. So that's all I care about. But yeah. So that is what we are looking at for today's flight. Let me go ahead and go back to the live cameras. Oh yeah, look at that. So we do have dang, yeah, we have tower vents going strong. OLM vent is going, and we should start seeing frost marks on ship and booster relatively soon. It is 6:31. Starship or SpaceX's stream starts in about 12 minutes. So bef- while we wait, I am just going to take a quick break. And I will see you guys. I'm gonna leave these cameras on so that you can pay attention to these. Let me go ahead and pop over here. Yeah, it's still the same. I actually have to zoom back in on my camera. It was like 8. There we go. Okay. And then stand up tall, make sure I can get that, and then let me zoom out a little bit more. Okay. So yeah, we're actually gonna put it like that. I like that a bit more. So, I will go ahead and leave these views up while I do take a quick break just before the SpaceX official webcast. Um, but we're here. Just before the SpaceX official webcast starts, and then after that starts, I will be back, or I will hopefully get back before it starts. And yeah, so I will see you guys in just a minute. See you in a minute. Okay, so we are back. We are about 43 minutes. They did, I don't know if it updated on here. It didn't. Okay, hold on one second. Um, there we go. Okay, I am back on camera. Hello, people. Hello. Okay, so nope, that is not what I wanted. Okay, um, the stream has updated to 6:50, which is fine. That is only 7 minutes later. It probably was because of that later announcement um of prop load. We do have confirmation that the ship is being fueled, which we can see a little bit of that frost line there. We can definitely see that there's frost on the actual like QD hoses themselves. And if I just bring myself up here, we can see the stainless steel start to discolor, meaning that they are um starting to load propellants into the bulkhead of the vehicle. So if you're just joining, we are about 42 minutes away from liftoff. About we are from my time. We are about 10 minutes away from the start of the SpaceX stream. For me, the launch is at 7:15 Central Time. It is at 6:15, and I think at so what is it at not at Pacific time? It's like 4:15 or something. It's around those times, but yeah, so we can obviously see OLM vent is going strong. Tower vent has stopped because we can see that the ship has started fueling. Now I will mention this is something I do know for a fact. Once that OLM vent goes out, that's when we know that the booster prop load has started. So you can see the discoloration on the methane tank of the ship itself. And that'll start getting frosty white and it'll start like producing condensation and stuff. So we will be seeing those things happen. But once the OLM vent stops, basically, let me actually point this out to you guys here. When this vent right here, when that stops completely, that means that the prop load on the booster has started. We did get confirmation on X from SpaceX that the ship's fuel is underway. We can see that obviously. But yeah, so we're about T minus 40 minutes, probably a little bit more because of that delayed stream start. But I'm gonna get stuff set up because if you're again just joining, I cannot listen to the stream like webcast through my MacBook because of oh, that's too low. Because of some like issues with it echoing and stuff. So I have to put in headphones and listen to it through here. Okay, and that's too high. All right, give me 1 second so I can move my camera down. Okay, there we go. All right. So what is it looking at? Oh, it's my ship. Okay. I'm gonna move everything off of my. I'm actually gonna bring you guys back here. I'm gonna move everything off of my desk. As you can see, I have Starhopper and some other things. If you again just joining, I'm gonna be moving these things off of my desk so that I can actually like focus on the launch and that my green screen thing doesn't go bonkers. I will be standing for this first part, but I may sit down later, mostly just because I'm gonna be excited. So let me go ahead and go back to the live cameras so we can start to see a little bit of the frost on the ship. We're just waiting for that condensation to start like building up. We can see on the okay. I do see now that the OLED vent has stopped, meaning that prop load on the booster is most likely underway. And we can see right here that the liquid oxygen tank is starting to frost up, and then we can also see right here that the methane tank is starting to frost up. You can kind of see that line, like, let me trace it with my finger, that line like right here, that's frost. That means that the prop load on the methane tank has started, but also you can see it on the liquid oxygen side as well. You can see the venting coming out of the bottom flaps over there. And we probably will start seeing prop load on the booster relatively soon. We have about 5 minutes, T-minus 5 minutes until the stream starts. For those of you that got excited, no, it is not 5 minutes until until launch. It is 5 minutes until the stream starts, unless we get any further information. Let me go ahead and look because we do have another notification. Yep, this happened. Okay, let me interact. Hold on. All right, there we go. We want live. Okay, so methane is starting on the ship. Okay, propellant load of the upper stage or the lower stage super heavy booster is now underway. Live coverage starts in about 10 minutes. So that is good signs that we are still going for today's launch. So it does still say that we are go for 650 for the live coverage starting. So we should be seeing we will head over to this other scene over here that has okay, oops. That has the actual I can't think of the words. I'm really sorry. I cannot think of the words. That has the actual the stream itself. So, let me go ahead and properties and window capture. I'm just going to do like, I don't know, weather for a second, just so I can do this. And then go back to Google Chrome, which is Starship Flight 11. And that, okay, that has updated. I do see the other thing. I don't know if that's like live. I don't know if it's fully covering it. I think it is. Let's see if it is. It is. Okay, good. All right, great. That is amazing. Okay, so all right, so stream starts in about okay, 2 minutes. Holy cow. I am so behind schedule. Okay, let me go ahead. I can disconnect Bluetooth. Okay, yep, and I knew that was gonna happen. Okay, so I have to keep Bluetooth on, with that, or it turns the camera off. Okay, I got you. All right, so let me disconnect my headphones from here. And then connect them to my iPad. Um, let's see, Bluetooth and Matthew's AirPod Pros. There we go. Those are connected. And then let me go and fix my camera because I don't remember what I did last time to fix the camera. It was I turned on Bluetooth for both, or I had my Bluetooth on for my MacBook, and then the live stuff. Okay, so we can see that propellant load is underway. I do see stuff on the booster, so booster is loading. Let's see, view, let's see, Mac Cam properties, 16 Pro Max, Matthews, maybe, hopefully, maybe this will work. Okay, well that's my desk view camera. Give me 2 minutes, so I can figure out why this happened last time I turned off Bluetooth as well. So give me about 2 minutes to figure out what is going on here, because it should be connecting to my phone for the actual like webcam, but it is not. Um, oh, there we go. Okay, I think I got it. So let me go ahead and run back here. And let me go to properties and then Matthew's desk view camera and then my normal camera. There we go. Okay, we're back. Okay, so and now I'm all messed up. Oh shoot. Give me just a minute. And I want this. Can I just okay. Bring you guys up here. Perfecto. All right. So, the live coverage should be starting soon-ish. So let me go ahead and start presenting that again. properties, and then I have to go to another tab, and then I have to go to Google Chrome, the 11th flight test, and then hit OK. All right. And then I have those back for both. Okay. So this should be starting relatively soon. So let me go ahead and go here, and I'm going to go ahead and reload. Yep, there we go. Okay, so we are there. Thankfully. Okay. So let me go ahead and alright, live webcast of Starship Flight test started. That is great. That is great. Okay. So okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to stay on here. Well, actually, I don't have to. I can just go and I can just like shrink. No, I can't shrink the tab. Okay. So let me just actually just do that. There we go. Okay. So now I should be able to. Yep. All right. I see it. Is it? Okay, so you can see my mouse. That's good. That's good at least that you can okay, I just need to figure out why this isn't working on my end. Okay. Oh, okay. 1 second. Browser. Nope, not capture card. Browser. 11. Enter.
All right, all operators on countdown 1. Flight directors go for launch.
Oh, shoot.
Base, Texas, for the 11th flight test of the world's largest and most powerful reusable rocket, Starship. Today's flight marks our second reuse of a super heavy booster and what's expected to be the final launch of our second generation vehicle. I'm Amanda Lee, a build reliability engineer here at SpaceX.
And I'm Jake Berkowitz, a lead propulsion engineer on our SpaceX Raptor team. Today we're coming to you live from Star Factory just under 2
months, of which we're looking to debut on the next generation of Starship. And we'll talk a little bit more about that upgraded rocket later in the program.
Yeah, and if you watched Flight 10, you'll know it was a really, really good day for Starship. All objectives were met, and we got tons of great data to learn from. And today, we're looking to build on the success of that flight.
Yeah, that's right. Like in Flight 10, we're again planning to deploy Starlink simulator satellites as well as test the limits of ship's heat shield during re-entry. A controlled descent, flip maneuver, and soft splash in the Indian Ocean are also planned for ship. And hopefully, our recovery team will be able to deliver some more of those amazing views that we got back on Flight 10.
Yeah, those views are just awesome. Another crazy thing, and for those of you keeping track, 1 year anniversary of our historic first ever booster catch. That was Booster 12. And even though we're not attempting a catch today, every time we launch a Starship, it's a big day. All right, so everyone, buckle up because maximum excitement is guaranteed.
All right.
And Dan Hewitt joins us from over near Mission Control. Dan, how are things looking for launch today?
Hey, Jake. Hey, Amanda. Hey, everybody. We are looking great. I'm Dan Hewitt with SpaceX Communications. That's right. Right behind me is our Launch Control Center here at Starbase. Flight Control team is on there. They're getting Starship and Super Heavy ready for liftoff. So as you can tell, when we look at the vehicle, prop load is underway. Things are looking good. We did shift our T0 a little bit. We're tracking to 6:23 p.m. Central Time, just a couple minutes into our window. All right, so as we noted, back in August, Flight 10, it did all the things. Did all the things we wanted it to do. Started off with Super Heavy, those 33 Raptor engines igniting, lifting off right at the top of its window at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. It was able to do a successful ascent, followed that up with hot staging, Starship's upper stage igniting those 6 Raptor engines, separating Super Heavy, making its way back down. We saw the hot stage pop off. It then completed its boost back burn, put it on the course towards that splashdown zone. It successfully did that landing burn when we intentionally disabled one of those 3 center engines. Backup engine, entered into its final hover, shut down the engines, and then splashed down into the water. Ship, meanwhile, completed full duration ascent burn, got to its planned velocity, successfully put it on that suborbital trajectory, and then it was on to the in-space stuff. That first in-space objective was completed. 8 of those Starlink simulators were deployed. That was the first successful payload demonstration we've ever had from Starship. Each of these simulators, similar in size to the V3 Starlinks that we're going to be launching next year to add significant capacity and capability to the network. Then it was on to our second ever in-space relight of a Raptor engine. That's a key capability for when we're going to do deorbit burns on future orbital missions, and then when we're doing deep space maneuvers. Then on to the critical reentry phase, we're able to get data on the performance of that heat shield, the ship structure, push the envelope on it, using the flaps, got it down to the splashdown zone, did the landing flip, did the landing burn. Killer views from the recovery team, soft splashdown over in the Indian Ocean. We were just about 3 meters off of our target, so pretty much nailed it. It was a huge day, tons of excitement here at Starbase. Just a reminder, though, this is still the early days. I mean, we're on Flight 11 today. There's a lot more we're going to do to get full reusability, increase our launch cadence, eventually start sending missions to the Moon and Mars. I mean, we've got thousands of launches to come. But for now, we're looking good for launch. Toss it back down to Amanda and Jake.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan. Starship is the first orbital launch vehicle engineered to be fully reusable, just like a commercial airliner. In fact, to the end, we're actually reflying a Super Heavy booster for the second time today. This booster last flew on Flight 8. So let's just start with how powerful this rocket really is. When you stack Starship up against one of the world's biggest airplanes, the 747, a single Raptor engine is actually double the thrust of all 4 airplane engines put together. So that means the Super Heavy over in the pad right now, with its 33 Raptors, is equal to the power of about 64 747s.
Yeah, that's just crazy, Amanda. The power this rocket generates is incredible. To be specific, it's over 16.7 million pounds of thrust. Numbers almost incomprehensible, but it's just crazy. All right, to break it down, Starship is made of 2 parts. First is the Super Heavy booster, which is powered by 33 of those Raptor engines that run on liquid methane and liquid oxygen. And second is the Starship upper stage, powered by 6 Raptor engines. 3 are optimized for sea level performance, and 3 are for vacuum performance with that larger nozzle extension. All right, it's the Starship's second stage that will one day carry cargo, payloads, and people all the way to Mars and beyond.
The Super Heavy booster is designed to launch, separate, flip, and return to the launch site where it can be caught by the chopsticks on the launch tower. However, as previously noted, we won't be attempting one of those catches today. Starship, on the other hand, re-enters the Earth's atmosphere at the conclusion of its mission, steering itself to a vertical landing or catch. And both stages are designed to return to Earth and fly again, making this the first rocket in history that will be fully reusable.
Yeah, and we cannot forget that between the two vehicles is the hot stage ring, a structure made of steel that allows the ship's engines to ignite while still attached to the booster, enabling a faster and more efficient stage separation. Right now, that hot stage ring is single use, but in the future, it will be built in directly to the V3 booster forward end.
And finally, the infrastructure built to support Starship is referred to as Stage 0. This includes the launch pads, tank farm, and the launch towers, which hold the chopsticks that catch the Super Heavy booster and eventually will also catch the ship.
Yeah, and to get us ready for launch today, we recently conducted another static test fire, basically where we fire up the engines to mimic a launch without actually launching. Know we're ready to go. And then here we're seeing ship. We did this for the second time on a retrofitted mount on pad 1. We had a full 9-second duration burn on all 6 engines.
We should also note that today's launch on pad 1 is intended to be the last launch on this pad in this configuration. As we head into the next generation Starship Flight test program, we'll be modifying pad 1 to meet the demands of our future missions.
Yeah, and among many other things, we're installing a new orbital launch mount, a new flame trench system, and upgrading the chopsticks for future catches. So until that's complete, we'll be running operations from pad 2, which will be coming online very soon.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over to Hawthorne, where Tyler is ready to talk a little Starlink.
They got all these new people. I mean, I know her.
Thank you, Jake and Amanda. My name is Tyler Lionquist, and I'm a Starlink business analyst here at SpaceX. Starlink is SpaceX's low Earth orbit, high-speed internet that's bringing connectivity both on Earth and in space. So, Starship is outfitted again today with 4 Starlink terminals, powering those incredible live shots of ship in orbit, through re-entry, and then all the way down to splashdown in the Indian Ocean. Now, we've had a couple of recent milestones that are worth celebrating. Back in September, we launched Starlink for its 300th time. And this summer, we surpassed 7 million active customers with service available across 150 countries and territories. We've come a really long way since turning on service for our first paying customer in rural Idaho 5 years ago, back in October of 2020.
That's crazy. Okay, now we get Starlink stuff. Sandy Point, Idaho.
Maples are looking beautiful.
I'm Wendy Layer. I live in Sandpoint, Idaho, and we are the first Starlink customers.
Nice.
With Starlink, we didn't have to compromise on where we live due to the lack of technology.
The minute they turned it on, we could stream a movie, we could video chat, we could play games on the internet without a lot of lag. I changed jobs earlier this year, so now I actually have the ability to work remote.
Here's my house. The program runs on the cloud. I can send anything I want out to get prices and designs.
I like to bake, so I've been able to research recipes and try new things.
Good day, go for a walk.
Good day for a walk.
And yet we are connected to anybody like in the city.
Nice. Nice, nice.
And I'm happy to report that Wendy and Sean are still Starlink customers today.
Okay, we are...
So in just over 5 years, we've added dedicated services that have expanded our emergency response capabilities. We've activated high-quality internet for millions of people, including those that live in some of the most remote places on Earth. Starlink is enabling rural school districts, counties, and tribal governments to offer online access to education, telemedicine, and many other critical services, in some cases for the first time ever. And yet, a third of the planet continues to go without access to reliable high-speed internet, so there's a lot more work for us to do. But Starlink was designed from the very beginning to meet these needs. And as each new version of Starlink comes online, the constellation's capacity and performance increases significantly. The larger V3 satellites that will deploy from Starship will bring gigabit connectivity to users and are designed to add 60 terabits per second of downlink capacity to the Starlink network. That's more than 20 times the capacity added with every V2 mini launch on the Falcon 9. And then on the cellular front, last month, SpaceX announced a deal that provides Starlink with exclusive spectrum for its next-generation direct-to-cell satellites, which will be capable of providing broadband service to cell phones globally. Starlink is the largest 4G coverage provider on Earth. Over 7 million people across 5 continents already rely on Starlink to connect their LTE phones to data, voice, video, and messaging, where terrestrial service is unavailable. So we're excited to have the opportunity to help close those coverage gaps and ultimately eliminate mobile dead zones around the world. So yeah, there's a lot happening with Starlink, and there's a lot more to come. So let's head back to Amanda and Jake at Starbase to take us through today's flight profile.
Thank you so much, Tyler. So today's float profile, we're looking to get our second re-entry with this iteration of ship. And prior to every launch, we work closely with the FAA and international air traffic organizations to efficiently and safely integrate launch and re-entry operations into the airspace.
And we've got a special guest here. We're live.
What's up, guys?
How's it going? Good to see you, boss.
Hi.
Hey. How's workout?
Good. We're live right now.
What the?
Yeah. Getting ready for Flight 11. How are you feeling for it?
Good. This is the first time that I'm going to be actually outside standing and watching the rocket. Because normally I'm in mission control and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
But now I'll be standing out in the garden there.
Okay.
So
awesome.
it's really going to be much more visceral.
Yeah. You're gonna feel
Great
it.
place
It's
to
gonna
watch.
be. It's gonna be awesome. We'll be in here this time, but usually we're out there watching. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Good luck
Later.
and have fun.
Have fun.
All right. So that was an exciting cameo there. But yeah, starting with liftoff, we'll get into the flight profile here. Super Heavy will ignite 33 engines, 24 of which are flight proven today. We'll power through ascent ahead of hot stage separation, where Booster will shut down all but 3 engines. Stage 2 lights its Raptor engines while still attached to Super Heavy. That is what we call hot stage separation. We'll see a directional booster flip and engine relight for boost back. And we'll be intentionally headed to a splashdown in the Gulf with a V3 style landing burn demonstration today.
Meanwhile, ship will continue with its ascent burn to a suborbital trajectory, where it will attempt to deploy 8 Starlink simulator satellites. And we're also planning to relight a single Raptor engine
It keeps lagging.
re-entry, where we're once again testing the limits of Starship's heat shield by intentionally removing tiles. The ship will also perform a pretty dynamic banking maneuver that mimics the path of a return to launch site for catch that will fly on a future mission. And if all that goes as planned, we'll conclude the test with a landing flip, burn, and soft water splashdown in the Indian Ocean. So definitely another action-packed flight profile, Dan.
Okay, well, we're still not live.
Turn to launch site for catch that will fly on a future mission.
Launch of this version of Starship, version number 2. Right now, we're actively building multiple next-generation V3 Starship and Super Heavy vehicles in the factory, kind of right behind us, so let's take a minute and nerd out a little bit. All right, those are going to be launching from Pad 2, which is nearing completion down here at Starbase. Both the pad and the vehicles are going to roll in really significant changes. This is building on everything we've learned from all of these flight tests to make a vehicle that we're looking to mass produce.
They better talk about the
Starting with the Starship upper stage, which is going to look pretty similar on the outside, but it's getting pretty much a complete overhaul under the hood. We're getting major design changes to its propulsion system that's going to accommodate that new version of Raptor, which puts out higher thrust. We're also getting an energy storage upgrades, tons of avionics changes, a lot of things that will enable longer duration missions. One notable thing you'll start seeing on the outside are these new docking adapters, propellant transfer. That's a core capability of Starship that we're going to demonstrate next year. Bottom line, though, this is the Starship we're planning to use for all of our next major milestones: orbital missions, return to launch site and catch, reuse, propellant transfer, and then making our way to the moon and Mars. Now, Super Heavy, we've shown some of this off, some of this hardware already coming out of the factory. It has upgrades like this, a redesigned fuel transfer tube. That thing's roughly the same size as the first stage of a Falcon 9 rocket. That channels all that cryogenic fuel down to Super Heavy's 33 engines. We made it bigger. It's basically a rocket inside of our rocket that gives us a faster, more reliable flip and simultaneous engine startup. New booster also going to have an integrated hot stage, a lot more vent area, and it's designed to be fully reusable. Pressure from those engine plumes gets vented out, mostly offset just by the pressure in the fuel tank. That is the top of the fuel tank. And then we add a non-structural layer of steel on the top that helps take all the heating. It's mapped to where all the high heating goes. Grid fins also getting a big change, going from 4 down to 3. They're 50% larger, though, much higher strength. They're also going to get used for vehicle lift and catch. That's all made possible. There's a new catch point addition on those grid fins. We've also kind of reclocked their position on the booster. That aligns them with the catch arms. Yeah, we got it right in the middle there. All right, and then powering it all, Raptor 3. Looks radically different, just straight up radical. Tons of major changes. It's coming in higher thrust, dramatic reduction in parts. Tons of control mechanisms moved inside. Our McGregor team's built some additional stands like this one, which essentially is the bottom of a super heavy booster. Lets us do gimbal or steering tests. So that's been really exciting to see. We've also been getting vacuum versions of Raptor 3 into test. The first flight engines are already in production and are about to start acceptance testing for Flight 12. So a lot of exciting changes coming, and we're getting ready to mass produce everything, including one of the really acceptance testing for Flight 12 with tiles in Florida.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan. Indeed. Linchpin to full and rapid reusability. We can't launch, land, refuel, and launch again if we have to spend months refurbishing the heat shield after every launch.
I'm sorry that this
So, in a future where Starship is flying several times a day, many, many thousands of heat shield tiles will be required. So yeah, we need to get cooking on those tiles, which is exactly what's happening inside the fully automated bakery down at the Cape. In just 3 years, tile production at the bakery has surpassed the total number of tiles produced during the 30 years of the shuttle program. To go from the raw material to a finished tile, it takes about 40 hours. And today, the bakery is producing about 1,000 tiles a day. But it's set up to produce enough tiles for 10 ships per month, which is about 7,000 tiles a day, or a tile off the line every 13 seconds. So yeah, the bakery is well on its way to providing Starship with all the tiles for missions to Mars and beyond. And for today's flight, we've made a modification to the heat shield tiles. Dan, do you mind filling us in on what's being referred to as the Crunchwrap tile?
Absolutely. I always love to get tiles covering Starship. Now they're kind of all next to each other. There's a small gap in between all of them. You got to leave a little bit of space as that metal underneath will expand and contract. That way they don't crunch into each other and start breaking. However, that lets some of that plasma kind of seep through, and we see really high heating on the sides and then down on the metal. To help fix that, we have this, the crunch wrap that everyone has heard about. So we take essentially that's called Vulcan felt that we then wrap around. And so as these tiles are next to each other, you've got a small bit in between that's going to help offset that heating.
Dang it.
Just one of the ways we're continuing rapid reusability. Hopefully it's going to help Starship live Moss. You know, everything is just going to get us to that end state of a fully and rapidly reusable vehicle. So pretty much the entire vehicle has those on it today. We've done this on multiple Starships previously, but this time pretty much the whole vehicle has it. So that was special for today. All right, enough heat shield tiles. Let's go quick check-in on the pad. So if you did notice, we did shift our T0 just a little bit. We're now counting down to 6:23 and 41 seconds Central Time. We shifted a little bit as we were working to finish clearing the range. We are monitoring sea and airspace, both here over the Gulf and in our splashdown location over on the Indian Ocean. We were working with the FAA, a lot of other international agencies to coordinate all of this. Good news, range is currently green. We're able to get everything out of the way that we were tracking in the Gulf. So weather status, I don't even really need to do, not a cloud in the sky, beautiful day, no probability of violation for launch at this point. We're not currently tracking any issues on the vehicle or the pad. You can see our fill levels are getting up there. We're almost completely done with our propellant loading. We've gone through all of our checkouts so far this morning, aligning our guidance, navigation, and control system, getting the vehicles ready for prop load, the farm. Everything has gone pretty smoothly so far. We got through our go, no-go for prop load. That happens at T-minus 1 hour and 15 minutes. We've been loading 3 minutes before launch. Booster started just about 10 minutes after that. We continue loading prop until just around 3 minutes before liftoff, and then at that point we'll be ready to go. So bottom line at the moment, we're looking real good. Again, 6:23 and 41 seconds Central Time is our target T0. So we're going to keep counting.
Great news so far. Thank you, Dan. And we do say it repeatedly because it's important to understand, but these flight tests are all about the data. Data helps.
Stop lagging. Stop lagging.
helps us build and cargo at scale to Mars. That is our foundational mission and basically just the major inspiration for our work here every day.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Amanda. And our first missions to the Red Planet are just down the road, and we recently shared some exciting news. Starship cargo flights to the Martian surface for research, development, and exploratory missions begin in 2030, and we already have our first customer.
Yeah, exactly. Starship is open for business, and one of the first payloads will be provided by the Italian Space Agency. They recently signed a first-of-its-kind agreement to carry Italian experiments on the initial Starship missions that deliver customer payloads to Mars. In related news, Starship cargo flights to the surface of the Moon for research, development, and exploratory missions will start in 2028. So a ton of Starship activity to look forward to, and if you'd like to learn more about our mission to making humanity multiplanetary, go ahead and visit spacex.com/Mars. Okay, now as we get closer to launch, development continues down here at Starbase, Texas, to shape this growing city into a truly unique place to live and work. And part of being a city, particularly one surrounded by nature, is environmental stewardship. The nearby Boca Beach dunes have unfortunately been eroding at an alarming rate for some time, so SpaceX is teaming up with Cameron County and the city of Starbase to stop that erosion and hopefully preserve the beach for years to come.
Yeah, and as one of its first permanent residents and someone who's actually called Starbase home for over 3 years now, I can tell you the beach totally adds to the uniqueness and awesomeness of living here. Starbase is truly unlike any other place on Earth. You know, where else can you see the world's biggest rocket every single day?
Yeah, Starbase is definitely the place to be, and we're always looking for more people to come help build the future of spaceflight.
Yeah, particularly engineers, especially for our propulsion and mechanical system teams.
You could be working on tests just like these ones, proving out the designs of our next generation Super Heavy booster. Fun fact, we actually tested the booster to 13,400 tons of thrust, which is more than the power of 3.5 Saturn V rockets, which is just crazy. We're also looking for civil and structural engineers to help literally build the future.
Whether it's buildings like the Gigabase, currently going up at both Starbase and the Cape, each is a massive vertical integration and assembly facility with over 700,000 square feet of workspace. Both sites are currently in progress, actually going vertical as we speak. Or you could be designing the Starship launch sites of the future. There's really no shortage of future to build here. So visit spacex.com/careers to see all of our openings if you're interested.
I am.
Okay, now as we head into terminal count, all eyes are on the rocket. Dan, how are we looking? Are we green?
Amanda, we are so green. Everything's still looking really good. So we've got a green range, not tracking any blockers there to launch. We're continuing to load prop on board the vehicle. We're just about to close out, so we'll close out, again, just about 3 minutes and 20 seconds before liftoff. We'll close out on ship, and then booster just about 30 seconds later. And then you end up with about 11 million pounds of liquid propellant on board those two stages. After we're fully loaded on the vehicle, the pad itself gets ready for launch. We do what's called pushbacks. We clear all that prop out of the lines in the tower and the feed system back into the tanks to get ready for launch. And then in the next couple of minutes, we're going to do our final GNC guidance, navigation, and control system alignment. We're going to arm the automatic flight safety system, and then we're going to do final kind of wiggle checks on the steering for the engines, which we might be able to catch a quick peek at as we get closer to those. If we need to hold, which we are not currently tracking a reason to, that would happen at T-minus 40 seconds. It's built into our countdown. We can pause and wait there for any final checkouts, anything that we need to hold for.
Once we pass that T-minus 40 seconds, a number of events will occur in rapid succession. The ground spin and ignition systems come up to flight pressure, and ship switches to internal power. After that, the quick disconnect arm lockout is removed in preparation for retraction shortly after T0. Now, once we pass T-minus 40 seconds, if any problems come up, we do still have the ability to recycle the count under certain conditions back to T-minus 40 seconds and hold there to assess what happened and then see if we can proceed again to liftoff.
Yep, however, once the water for the deflector system begins flowing at T-minus 10 seconds, any issue after that would be an automatic scrub for the day, as teams would need to refill the deflector's water tanks as well as the propellant storage tanks at the tank farm before making another attempt.
All right, we are coming up on 3 minutes away from launch. You can see the frost line all the way up. We've just closed out prop load onto the ship. Booster coming up shortly. Yeah, in about 10 seconds we'll finish loading prop on the booster, and then again we'll have about 11 million pounds of that liquid oxygen, liquid methane on board the vehicles. Not currently tracking a reason to hold at T-minus 40. It can pop up at the last moment or after we pass that gate. We can always hang out there for a couple of minutes if we need to. We do have some extra time. We're not constantly topping off the propellant in these vehicles, so we have about a 7-8 minute window where we can wait for any final issues to clear. We're not currently tracking a reason to hold there. Again, our range continues to be green as we look at sea and airspace both out over the Gulf and in our re-entry zone out in the Indian Ocean. All right, 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. A lot of things on tap for Flight 11. Planned to be the last launch of this version of Starship and Super Heavy. Once again, we're really focused on getting ship over to re-entry. Once we get to that phase, we're going to dive in. There's a lot of exciting stuff that's going to be happening on our way back through and down to the ground, hopefully out in the Indian Ocean. Minute 45. Should hopefully be seeing. There's a quick wiggle check. Checking out the thrust vector control, the steering on the booster. We use those inner 13. One final dance before the big show. And we'll do that one more time after we cross that T-minus 40 gate.
All right, 1 minute 15.
All right, range continues to be green. Still not tracking any issues on vehicle or pad.
So we don't have to worry about catch today. So
1 minute to go.
1 minute. All right, 1 minute.
As a reminder, we can hold at T-minus 40. We're not planning to.
Can you shut up, please? I just want this to go. Okay, come on. Come on. Go past the T40. All right, we're past T40.
All right.
All right.
We're through T-minus 40.
Okay.
Let's listen in. Flight Director Ty Huntington back in the seat. Take us through the final
Flight Directors go for launch.
Flight Directors go for launch! Okay. Okay. Alright, I'm not going to do what I did on Flight 9. I'm sorry. Okay. Alright, T-minus 20. Alright, we passed 15.
T-minus 10,
10,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go! Okay. Okay, we have
liftoff. Go Super Heavy. Go Starship. Thanks for all the historic flights, Pad 1.
Yes. Gave a send-off. Okay, we have 33 out of 33 Raptor engines on Booster 15. We are sending basically perfectly.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Vehicles pitching downrange. Okay, alright.
Booster Raptor chamber pressure nominal.
Alright, for 33 out of 33, roll program has been complete. Almost. So we should see some on-board cams pretty soon. Hopefully. Alright,
Booster and ship, nominal power and telemetry.
Alright, nominal power and telemetry. That is good signs.
All right, we are about 45 seconds into flight. We're still getting the rattle here at Star Factory. We are seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor engines lit on Super Heavy as it arcs across the Gulf. Right, coming up next on Max Q.
This. Make us proud. Last Block 2 vehicles. Make us proud. Bring back Flight 6. You're on the anniversary of Flight...
Max Q.
Or what was it?
So at this point, we've passed through that period of maximum aerodynamic pressure. The next thing we're looking forward to is going to be hot staging. So we've got 33 out of 33 Raptors lit. Super Heavy makes its way uphill. Hot staging is going to be coming up in just a little over a minute. At that point, we're going to see all but 3 of those Raptor engines on Super Heavy shut down. Our version of MECO Most engines cut off instead of main
We're
engine.
seeing no problems with the engines themselves, which is a good
And then
sign.
after that, we're going to release the clamps that are currently holding Starship
give us onboard
to
views.
that
I
hot
see the
stage
blue.
adapter. It's then
Yes,
going to
thank
ignite
you.
its 6 Raptor engines
Thank
to
you.
push it away from Super Heavy and then start making its flight uphill.
Okay. We are
So in about
rolling.
30 seconds, we're going to see the engine start to shut down on Super Heavy. You'll see them kind of
we
shut off in
launched!
separate
We
banks
launched! Oh, I
until
can
we've
move
just
these
got
now.
those 3 center engines that never stop running for this process, and then looking for 6 ship Raptors.
All right, 6 ship Raptors. Let's see. All right, stage separation is coming up.
Miko coming up in about 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Okay, I got my models. I'm not gonna do that. That takes too much time.
See the engines throttling down.
Yay.
Booster engine cut off.
Ship engine layout is up.
Ship ignition.
Booster engine cutoff and ship ignition. Light. Oh yeah.
Stage separation.
Stage separation confirmed.
Boost back
Okay.
burn startup.
We do have 1 engine out on boost back burn, which is, I mean, it's better than 2. So.
All right, successful hot staging maneuver. So we've got 12 of the 13 engines lit back up on boosters, so it's doing its boost back.
All right, ship.
Real excitingly, though, we've got 6
phenomenal.
out of 6 Raptors lit on ship there, so it's now going to continue to make its ascent into outer
Ship is where I
space.
get nervous. I know ship is going to do great.
Meanwhile,
so
this
ship is
boost
where I
back
get nervous,
is
especially because
happening. We're using those 13 engines, so everything, well, 12 out of the 13, and then we go down to 3, and then we're going to shut down for the end of boost back. That's sending Super Heavy back towards its planned splashdown zone in the Gulf. Right after we finish this boost back burn, we're also going to separate the hot stage. This will be the final time that we're doing this. All right, there's the end of the boost back burn.
Okay.
We should be seeing the hot stage.
I need to actually bring this up because you guys can't see the thing. There we go. Now you should be able to.
So the hot stage separates. It's going to make its way down, also splash down in the Gulf.
Okay.
In the meantime, though, these 6 ship Raptors are going to continue firing for about 5 more minutes.
Okay. As soon as ship engine cut off. That's all
Next up for the booster, though, is going to be its landing burn. There's a cool tracking shot. We dumped some of the prop out on our way back in.
That is beautiful.
All right, so for booster, this is one of the main things we're trying to get is going to be this landing burn. Oh, that's so you can see the hot stage kind of making its way towards the left side. So that's the bottom of the booster. It's about to pass right in front of where you can see some of that prop dump happening. They look like they're close together, but there's a good amount of distance between them, and the hot stage will go down and splash down in the Gulf while the booster comes back for its landing burn.
All right, let's see. Oh, okay.
Starship is on nominal trajectory.
All right, Starship is on nominal
All right.
trajectory. I have
Looking good on our trajectory, looking good on everything. Jake and Amanda, you guys with me down there?
Yeah, definitely. The crowd is gathering over here in the office. You can definitely feel the energy in here. Great to see that booster is making its way down to the splashdown zone in the Gulf.
Yeah, the shaking down here was absolutely nuts. The windows are still there, still intact. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, booster's coming down. We're at about 30 kilometers.
I want to see the hot. I want to see the hot.
All right, yeah, and as we approach that landing, just like tower catches, we will be doing a 13-engine landing burn to slow down. This time it will be in a V3 configuration.
Hot on the aft.
And as we're starting to get into the denser part of the atmosphere, the booster is using 4 hypersonic grid fins to guide itself through atmospheric entry towards its landing site.
And we're just about 20 seconds away from landing burn start, where we'll first ignite the center 13 engines, then bring that down to 5 to slow down the booster for landing. And finally, that will come down to 3, and we'll cut all of them off while we're still about 200 meters in the air. So booster is going to see a bit of a...
All right, we got that.
Booster landing burn startup.
All right, I want to see this. Nice! I like that. Oh, I like that. And then down to 3. And then simulated booster catch.
Booster landing burn shutdown.
And then landing burn shutdown.
And there we heard it. Booster landing burn shut down. We saw a 13 to 5 to 3 V3 demonstration. And into the water we go.
Gulf of Mexico.
Wow, that was absolutely awesome. If you can even hear us right now, congrats to the whole SpaceX team. So far, so good for today. That was incredible.
Okay, ship.
All right, great stuff, guys. I'm jealous of the crowd. All right, back to ship. Ship's still making its way. We've got a little under 2 minutes left in this ascent burn, so we've got all 6 Raptor engines still firing.
I have confidence.
So the next major milestone we're going to be looking for is SECO. That's our second stage engine cutoff. That's should be coming right at about 8 minutes and 58 seconds into flight. So we've got about 1:20 still to go.
Okay.
Really cool to see Booster go through that landing burn. That was one of our really key demonstrations we wanted to try and do today. That's mimicking what we're going to be hopefully doing. Oh, we just got our sonic boom. Sounds like from the Booster coming back.
I thought there was something wrong. I'm like, no.
All right, less than a minute to go. So we are going to see the 3 RVACs, the vacuum optimized engines, shut down first, and then we'll shut down those 3 center engines. So we should be a little under a minute until SECO. Just a reminder, this is putting us into a suborbital trajectory, so we're intentionally just going slow enough that we're not going to achieve full orbit. This puts us on a course where those engines shut off, and no matter what, we're coming back.
Starship is in terminal guidance.
All right, Starship is in terminal
in
guidance.
the Indian Ocean. All right, terminal guidance. So we should start seeing the shutdowns come up in just a couple seconds. Less than 30 seconds to go.
Less than 30 seconds
and the
to
ship
go.
is sent.
Let's do this. Come on, 38. Come on, 38. Good job, 38.
All right, our vacs have shut off.
All right, vacuum Raptors are shut down.
3 more to go.
We still have 3 more Raptor engines to go. And the last 3, can we see?
Ship engine cut off.
All right, we have SECO, second stage cutoff, or second stage engine cutoff. We are good.
All right, all ship Raptors have shut
Nominal
down.
orbit insertion.
That is crazy.
You just heard nominal orbital insertion, so we are on the path that we wanted to be. So we've got a ship back in space, a whole lot planned for it, lots more still to come. Great seeing Super Heavy make its way to the water, but I'm excited to see what ship can do in space. How's everybody doing down there?
Yeah, if you could hear the crowd behind us this whole time, people are definitely happy with how the day's been panning out so far. Definitely exciting to see Starship safely in space, and super pumped to see all the team's hard work in action here today.
Yeah, and we guaranteed it at the start of the show, but it has been an awesome day so far. It's crazy. All this has happened in just 10 minutes. All the objectives were met on the booster, including that V3 style landing burn. So now all eyes are on the ship as we get ready for our in-space objectives. But we've got a few minutes until that next milestone, so sit tight, enjoy the views, enjoy the space jams. We'll be back at T plus 16 minutes for payload deploy.
that was a crazy flight. Or, well, crazy beginning of the flight. So, we can't still see, so I...
All right, welcome back, everybody. If you're just now joining us, where the heck were you? But we are getting ready for payload deploy. That's going to start once we get the payload door open. That should be happening, or at least starting, within the next minute or so. It's been a really cool flight so far.
There are the
Quick look inside the payload. We've got 8 Starlink simulators getting ready to make their way into outer space. But great flight so far. Booster able to make it all the way to its splashdown and landing burn experiment, so that was really exciting to see. We got ship on orbit, nominal orbital insertion, so right on the money with its trajectory. And now we're ready to start tackling a couple of in-space objectives. So next up, we are currently venting down the nose cone, essentially the payload area of Starship, as we get ready to open up this payload door. We were able to do this successfully for the very first time on our last flight, on Flight 10.
There it is.
Oop. Hal
They
got
better
ahead of me.
show
It
the
looks like he's
Starlink's
opening
coming
up the
out.
payload door already.
They better show it. Because you can see that. That's open.
All right, looks like we got the door open. All right, so payload door is open. Next up, going to be to start deploying these Starlink simulators.
Come on.
They are roughly the same size as the V3 Starlink satellites that Starship's going to be carrying. That's going to add some pretty crazy capacity. We'll run through the numbers in a little bit. We were able to do this for the very first time ever on our last flight, and so this will be another test. We made a couple of tweaks to the rails for deploying this based off of what we saw last time, but excited to see these get out the door. Our next iteration of Starship's also going to have a more powerful PEZ. It's going to deploy these at a little bit faster speed, but looking to see our next demonstration of this hopefully in the next couple of seconds. We should start seeing them move out the door.
Come on. Come on up.
I mean, that view on your left, so you're basically, that would be if you were sitting at the very top of the nose cone looking down. So there's kind of a short stack. There's 4 on either side, so 8 total. When we start flying Starlinks, for their actual deploy missions, we're going to be carrying stacks of about 60. So much larger stack once we start flying these operationally, but still doing a little bit of a short just for this payload deployed today.
Come on out. There it is.
Looks like we got a little bit of movement there, Dan.
Coax it out. Get it moving, Jake.
There we go. All right, first one going out. All right, first one's deployed. Getting ready for the second one here. We do a little reset back to the center position.
Yeah, it takes about a minute for each one.
Looks real smooth too. They made a couple of tweaks to those rails. If you watched the last ones, it had a couple of bumps on the way out, but moving out super clean this time.
Yeah, and as noted earlier in the show, but definitely worth repeating, Starship will deploy Starlink's more advanced V3 satellites, adding 60 terabits per second of capacity to the network per launch. So that's 20 times more than each Falcon 9 launch does today. Just incredible.
Yeah, and anybody that's been following Starship, you know, Starlink's kind of the MVP for these flight tests, where it's not only giving us the views we're seeing right now, but also just real-time data through every phase of flight. So we've got a couple dozen cameras on Starship. We've also got a bunch of cameras spread across the globe, including out in the Indian Ocean, where we've got our fun buoys floating. There goes another one. And I mean, we're using Starlink to bring all of this together. It's our drone shots you see here from our great team down here at Starbase, all connected. So Starlink not only giving us cool views off the planet, but also on the planet, help bring everybody along for all these Starship flights.
You can see that.
I think that's number 4. Somebody check my math.
They're not jumping us. I sound ungrateful, but come on. Like.
Yeah, we've got 4 Starlink terminals on the outside of Starship. He uses that to talk to the constellation, and through that we actually get about 120 megabits of bandwidth for our downlink. That's our real-time HD video, all of our telemetry. So it's not just kind of giving us these cool views inside, but it's giving all that engineering. The layer builds up and blocks you out. Starlink, powerful enough of a frequency that we're able to kind of punch through that and still get that live view. All right, next one out the door.
Yes!
There we go.
I can see that.
All right, yeah, Starlink is the world's largest satellite constellation operating in low Earth orbit. This provides internet access to people around the world, many of who have never had connectivity before. Right. Today, Starlink serves more than 150 countries, territories, and other markets, with over 7 million active customers and counting. To meet the global growing demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX expanded its factory over in Bastrop, Texas, which is just outside of Austin, and also introduced Starlink Mini, as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink Standard Kit.
Yeah, and one thing to note about the satellite deploy is that they will be following the same suborbital trajectory of the ship. So these dummy sats will not be going in orbit. We do expect them to burn up on re-entry.
All right, couple more to go. I promise one of these days we'll deploy in daylight. But we're basically trading deploy in the dark so we get those re-entry views for the daytime.
Another one.
All right, I think we got one more to go.
Last one. All in. Has done what we could.
All right, now with payload deploy complete, Starship will now close its payload door and continue to coast around Earth to the Indian Ocean. We still have a ton of major events to come today, including Raptor Relight at about T plus 37 minutes. That will be followed by atmospheric reentry and splashdown. So with that, we're going to go on another quick post.
Yeah, if you can hear us.
Shut the door! Shut the front door!
All right, with that payload door closed, we're going to sit tight, enjoy the views, and enjoy the space jams. Again, we'll be back in just a few minutes for Raptor Relight, and then head back for reentry.
Perfect payload deployment. Alright, so we are above the... I don't know what that body of water was called. I think that's the inlet. Oh, I'm so happy. the... Holy cow, okay. Those simulators, man. Those are crazy. I mean, like, there's nothing in that bad. That was great. I didn't see a single Starlink simulator bump into the top of that thing. Not a single one. To those of you who have just joining, like literally in the last like 5 minutes, for one, where have you been? For two, we had just seen Ship 38 perform a payload deployment test or demo or something, and that went flawlessly. We saw a successful liftoff at the actually like 7 minutes past the top of their window. No holds, no nothing. They went straight through. Today was great. today has been so far great. We do still have the Raptor, the in-space relight, and the re-entry of the ship itself, and hopefully landing. There were a lot of missing tiles, so I'm a little nervous, especially around like the tanks and stuff. So I'm a little nervous, but we'll see what happens. So, but yeah, we saw Super Heavy come down. We finally figured out what those two engines that they were gonna. This is just a new generation of booster. This is not what I'm gonna be using in the future. It's gonna be a different one. So like if this was its layout, which I don't think it was. No, it was like that. There we go. So it lit the inner three, and then it lit this one right here, and then lit this one like right over here. So it was like these two right here, which were great. That was great. I cannot believe that. That was honestly great. So they are showing views of ship. I'm gonna bring back this. And go back to this. Yeah, so they're showing views of ship. I mean, this is honestly beautiful. So, I'm gonna bring back this. Do that. Yeah. Alright, so we have the Raptor engine relight, which is in a little bit of time. I don't remember exactly when. I actually didn't really look at the flight profile, just specific time. So probably soon. You'll be able to tell because I think the ship goes to retrograde when it so like you see this little line right here, if you can see my mouse. You see this little line. I think it's the little line by the it's like over there in the diagram. There's a little line, a secondary line that's pointing out of the pointing out of the side of the ship. I think that's its current heading. So I think it's currently heading that way. So I think it's gonna go backwards. Hopefully sometime soon. Yeah. Again, if you're just joining, again, where have you been? This has been a crazy flight so far. Everything is going phenomenally so far. We haven't seen, not trying to jinx it or anything, knock on wood, but so far we haven't seen any sort of anomalies or failures or anything. No bumping of the payload bay door whatsoever. Like, that was honestly flawless. So, let's see what happens. We like it. I do like the fact that they did talk about the actual like V3 hardware. I mean, they didn't show chip 20 or chip 39, which I was annoyed about because they just rolled that out today. So it's like, I wish they would have got that, but you know what? Whatever. I was about to say, we'll wait till next flight to see it, but by next flight, we will have seen it. It'll be on the pad. So, just whatever. I believe we are almost to the position of that Raptor relay. So it should be showing that in just a minute or so. 2 or 3 minutes, really. So, yeah. Go ahead, stand back up. I have more energy now, so I can stand back up. I wasted all my energy on the phone, so yeah. This has been a long stream. How long have we been streaming for? We've been streaming for 2 hours and 57 minutes, and we're only halfway through. So this may actually go to be one of my longest streams ever. Okay.
right, welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, you did miss some exciting stuff because Starship successfully deployed its second ever payload, 8 Starlink simulator satellites. And now we're expecting the relight of a single sea-level Raptor engine in space coming up here just after T plus 37 minutes. So about a minute left to go.
Yep, just a little while. I think we're tracking to 37 in around 49 seconds or so. So we should be just about a minute and a half where, again, as Amanda just said, we're going to relight one of those center engines. This will be the third time that we've tried this. We did it successfully back on Flight 10, and then we did it for the very first time back on Flight 6. This is not a deorbit burn. This is demonstrating essentially all of the systems you would need to do a deorbit burn. So that's obviously your Raptor engine, and then also your header tanks, your smaller tanks in the nose cone, where we have liquid oxygen, liquid methane in a smaller, more easily pressurized container, which we can use for on-orbit burns. And we're also going to tap into those when we do our landing burn. So this will be a critical capability. Once we go to full orbital missions, you'll have to do a deorbit burn to break out of orbit, send it back down to Earth. But in this instance, we're already on our way back down towards Earth. So this is just going to demonstrate the capability of turning one of these engines on. We should be coming up in just about 20 seconds or so, looking for one of those Raptor engines to turn back on. They've been off since we completed that successful ascent burn almost 30 minutes ago. Here we go.
Oh, Raptor ignition. And shutdown.
All right, there was that Raptor relight. Looks like engine 3 full duration. As Dan mentioned, that's a third attempt, and we just did it 3 times in a row. So congrats to the team, the ship team, Raptor team. And then there we heard nominal second orbital insertion. All right, so congrats everyone on the milestone. That was awesome to see. We're 3 for 3. We're going to take another break, and we'll be back for re-entry at about T plus 45 minutes. We'll see you soon.
All right, T plus 45 minutes. All right, it's only like... All right, more of a break. Last segment.
Starship is slewing for entry.
But thankfully, we haven't lost attitude control. At least not as of yet. 38 is a good one. Yeah, that means, I believe that it's either 19 and that's RPM, or reaction. Then you have, if you're talking about the individual ones, then you're talking about the RPS ones. The individual for the engine bay were I do want to see that they look fine.
Starship is approaching entry interface.
Okay, I'll leave it first. From what I can see, the flaps look fine. Flaps look fine. So I don't really know what happened. I would like to know what happened. I can't wait to get the or the perfecto.
Ship is starting entry, good attitude.
All right, welcome back, everyone. The ship is currently re-entering Earth's atmosphere. As a reminder, we don't plan to recover the spacecraft today, but rapid and reliable reusability is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, the light show has already begun. You can see plasma starting to build on the windward side of the rocket there. And, re-entry is a critical phase of flight, and we need information on how the ship's systems perform. Re-entry is also extremely demanding portion of flight because we need the ship to scrub off all of the energy we used to launch the rocket. So remember the 33 engines plus the 6 engines on ship that we used to get up into space, we now are using aerobraking essentially to scrub off all that energy. And of course, Starlink is a big part of this, giving us the views we have right now, and also letting us gather as much data as possible, which again, is really the main reason why we do these flights. And the view we have right now is actually a really good example. As we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, we have some tiles on the leeward side of the flaps here, and we have some different mechanisms, some stud out, basically to see if these tiles will hang on. And, we can see already here, it looks like we kept most of them, but I think I see a couple there that are no longer there. So the thermal team is definitely going to be digging into that and taking that data to help us iterate on V3. So yeah, Starlink provides us with one more path to collect data and help us rapidly iterate Starship's design.
And if the ship does manage to make it all the way to re-entry, we'll collect valuable data on the spacecraft flying through the Earth's atmosphere at hypersonic speeds, or more than 5 times the speed of sound. Re-entry is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communications with spacecraft because it's re-entering at or around orbital velocity, which is roughly 8 kilometers per second or 5 miles per second. At those insanely high speeds, the spacecraft moving through the atmosphere creates a plasma field around the vehicle.
Yeah, and that blanket of plasma distorts communication frequencies, so it's not uncommon to experience brief blackouts in communication. All right, so big picture here, Starship is designed to land on Mars where there are no runways or other humans to help out. So that means we need to do a propulsive landing instead of a more traditional means like parachutes, which is what our Dragon spacecraft uses, or a runway like the Space Shuttle. Propulsive landing enables more rapid reusability.
Now, as the ship makes its way back to Earth, we should start hearing some callouts when we hear entry max heating and entry max Q. That means the ship has made it through the maximum heating and aerodynamic loads it will experience as it returns. So if it makes it through all of those, that's a pretty good sign that we're doing well.
Yeah, and we heard flaps have control of the vehicle now. Okay, there's a great shot there. You're starting to see the plasma build up. So we will hear a call out when the ship is transonic and then subsonic. Transonic refers to the period of flight where the velocities of airflows surrounding and flowing past the vehicle are concurrently below, at, and above the speed of sound, somewhere in the range of Mach 0.8 to 1.2. All right, a lot of numbers coming up here, but for reference, commercial jets have a range of cruising speeds, but most fly around Mach 0.74 to Mach 0.85, which is 480 to 575 miles per hour, or 770 to 930 kilometers per hour. Right now, we're going a little over 26,000 kilometers per hour. So compare that to the airplane at 930. It's like pretty crazy how fast we're going here. All right, and after we hear the call out that Starship is transonic, we should hear the call out that Starship is subsonic. Subsonic, of course, refers to the speed that is much less than the speed of sound. So at that point, the ship's velocity will be starting to slow down, and we'll be looking a little bit more like some of our suborbital flights from, at this point, almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, so re-entry so far is looking pretty good. You can see that plasma field. Also, again, with those missing tile experiments, especially, we're putting the ship through a lot today, but things are looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, we're looking good. I do want to remind people that we are pushing ship to the limits. We've done a lot of these missing tile tests. We did it back on Flight 10. Every time we do it, we throw something new and the ship makes it through. This time, we're really pushing it. We've removed these tiles in some of the spots that see the highest level of heating. And we remove tiles that have zero backup protection underneath. So there's essentially just bare steel. It's one of the heat of re-entry.
There goes something.
And so do not be surprised if this is not a very smooth flight on the way down. But again, this is intentional. We are trying to find what are the limits for ship. How resilient are we to these different issues that could pop up? If we lose a tile anywhere in the vehicle, we want to know what that ultimate impact is going to be. So we've got a couple missing. We had a bunch pulled over the primary fuel, the LOX tanks, everything. This one, we've got a tile missing right on top. So that's going to see some of the highest temperatures during this re-entry, and there's just bare steel right underneath it. So we're going to see if Starship's robust enough to pull through that. Also have some tiles missing around the aft flaps, specifically on the leading edge. So again, we're getting a really good look right at the leading edge. That's getting really intense heating. So again, gonna see if it can make it through. See if all the flaps hold on, see if Starship holds together. But definitely could be a bumpy ride, but this is why we're flying. This is why we're flying in this part of the world. This is why we're putting Starship through these flight tests to really understand what its limits are. So we can then move on to the next thing. Just going to be bringing ships back to the launch site for a catch. But for now, still on the suborbital, the light show continuing. Keep following it in. I think we got about 15 minutes until splashdown.
Yeah, Dan, it looks, you can see our speed our speed indicator in the bottom left there. It looks like we're starting to scrub off velocity a little bit quicker.
Ship is entering the peak heating phase of flight.
Alright, peak heating. It's the big moment. You can make it through this. You can do it. Shatter up a little bit more.
Looks like we can see some clouds down there as we pass through 70 kilometers altitude.
Yeah, the sun's starting to come up again. Ooh, there we go.
There we go.
Skirt is intact so far this time. If you watched Flight 10, you saw we entered with a little bit missing. That was ultimately traced to a little bit of buildup. We dumped prop on the way. We had a little bit of solid propellant buildup, and then either static discharge or the plasma ignited it, took out a tiny bit of that skirt, some of the aft flaps, but Starship, again, was able to fight through it, make it all the way to that landing burn. We addressed that, changed some of our prop dump con-ups, though, so
I mean, ship looks good so far.
should not be seeing that this time around.
Alright, ship looks good. Good job, ship.
And as a reminder, in addition to these missing tile tests, we're doing kind of a unique flight on the way in. It's going to do what we call a banking maneuver. So while we're still going supersonic and even hypersonic, we're doing kind of a banking turn. And then we'll do a pretty aggressive turn right as we get into the subsonic and start doing our belly flop. And that's designed to essentially be the approach that we would do on a return to launch site and a tower catch. So don't be surprised if we see the ship start to turn and make a few maneuvers as it makes its way down to the Indian. And fun fact, even though we're doing all this turning, we're essentially targeting the exact same spot in the Indian Ocean we went to last time.
Just like the shuttle. She's doing S-turns. Yep, she was doing S-turns. Some nice ones, too. So S-turns are basically when the ship rocks back and forth. It's really good.
All right, just about 12 minutes to go.
How is this
Still looking good.
doing this?
That gives a pretty good view of those aft flaps where, again, on the leading edge, I think it might be on the one on the other side, we had some tiles removed with no backups behind it. So again, we're really trying to stress some of the most sensitive areas around Starship, where basically if you lose a tile, it's the worst possible spot. And if we're able to make it through this, then that tells us quite a bit about just how resilient this vehicle is.
A lot of blue. Oh, you know, maybe there's a contrap or the ablative material.
Yeah, and that shot we just had earlier was looking at what we call the business end of Starship with all the Raptor engines. And those are the engines that we're going to be expecting to light for that flip and landing burn, hopefully in about 10 minutes once we get through reentry. Yeah, there we go.
I mean, skirt looks fine.
Yeah, looking at E3, that's the one. It's the one we did the relight on. So it's 2 for 2 so far. We'll see if it can go 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Into flight. almost through. It's probably going to hit max Q pretty soon. Entering into space and fading away. Almost to its point, so probably almost good. His decals are not doing so great.
All right, we can see that speed just continue to bleed off under 20,000 kilometers an hour.
That must be that banking maneuver that they were talking about. No. Banking is...
Ship still holding together.
I don't know how ship is still holding together. Those tiles!
Yeah, and if you look in the bottom right, looks like we've made it all the way to the Indian Ocean. We're coming up kind of near Australia, the west side of Australia there, so pretty crazy. We're only 56 minutes in, and we've made it all the way, halfway around the world.
Nope. Alright, ship, you got this. You're literally almost there. Literally. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of ouchies. Come on.
It's actually a good demonstration of a future capability we hope to have on Starship where we will do point-to-point transport on Earth. So essentially travel anywhere in the world in about an hour or so, which is, going to be pretty crazy. Imagine going from New York to Sydney in 1 hour instead of the, 20 hours it takes currently.
And a reminder, so this camera is, we see some of the heat rate picking up a little bit. And this camera is embedded right in the end of one of those forward flaps, so you see it moving around. That's the flap adjusting to maintain control. Looks like we're getting into our bank maneuver.
Oh, okay, so it is doing bank maneuver. I got you.
Now power sliding through the atmosphere.
External temperatures are coming down.
Great. Alright, temperatures are coming down, so it probably should be hitting max Q later, so maximum. Looks pretty darn good. I cannot believe it. 1.5 Gs.
Vehicle is now at maximum dynamic pressure.
1.6 Gs. Is that the most? 1.6 Gs? If it can make it 1.7 Gs. I was going to say, if it can make it...
Alright, that was basically our reverse max Q, so most aerodynamic stress that it's going to see during re-entry, we just passed through it, so we're past that, we're past peak heating. Ship's still holding together. So we're currently in this bank maneuver. We're going to see it kind of roll over and do a pretty significant shift as we get down closer to the subsonic speeds.
Alright, we are 59 minutes. We are probably about 5
Yeah, and that bank maneuver that Dan's mentioning is all in part of us to learn about the guidance, navigation, and control for return to launch site missions. So in the near future, we're hoping to return the ship back to the same pad we just took off on 59 minutes ago, and we've got to do some of these pretty dynamic bankings to make that trajectory work out.
It can't be orange. If it's orange again, then I don't know what else. Oh my god. All
right, the light show kind of calming down as we're starting to move into the lower parts of the atmosphere. We should hit transonic, so hitting that transition between moving faster than the speed of sound and below the speed of sound in just about 3.5 minutes. Our landing burn should happen right around an hour and 6 minutes after launch, so we should be just about 6 minutes away from that. You can see lots of daylight. Everybody cross your fingers, see if our range team was able to get out there and provide any surprise views as Starship makes its way down.
Whoa.
Oh, it's like they heard me. Ready and waiting, let's go.
Dan, you just spoke that view into existence there. And again, all brought to us by Starlink.
Maneuver has started.
Banking maneuvers.
All right, there we go. So we're now starting into our really heavy bank maneuver.
Yep.
And this does almost like a half circle loop to our actual trajectory. We're heading to the same exact splashdown point, but we're kind of doing a more roundabout way to get there, where it's this kind of big, long half moon loop and then a really aggressive and a twist right at the very end. And that would line us up with the launch tower. Starship, on a return to launch site, would fly over the tower, do a quick landing burn flip, and then come down for catching the arms.
We're about 6,300 kilometers.
How about that S-38 decal there, staying strong on that view we just had?
And then 38.
Good to see the numbers back on.
Yeah. In altitude, not attitude, altitude. Ship survived.
All right, should be hitting transonic in about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Ship survived. She is
Landing flip coming up in about
strong.
4. Pretty clouds there in the Indian Ocean today. Again, yeah, we changed our launch times. We launch in the evening now, so we get these daytime views down in the Indian Ocean. One of the things we're really looking for, the reason we have the drone, other than, yeah, that looks really cool, is we're able to kind of see the ship. We can only see so much from these cameras. You can't see like the vast majority of the heat shield, so we throw these buoys out there. We've got there's
You spoke it again, Dan. There it is.
They're playing with me in the control room. All right. But we have these buoys out there. We have these drones that we're trying to see externally how the heat shield held up. Everybody saw from Flight 10 it had a little bit of a paint job, a little bit of a reddish hue. That was from those metallic tiles that we had tested, kind of oxidizing really rapidly in that plasma and then spreading those little oxide particles all over the heat shield. No metal tiles on this flight, so not expecting to see that.
Sideways!
Dynamic pressure is coming down.
Oh, he's sideways! Oh my god, bro.
Hope nobody gets seasick.
Sideways. Bro, it's coming.
All right, coming up on transonic shortly. It's about 2.5 minutes of landing burn.
Yeah, and once we get to around the 15-kilometer altitude mark, that's where we have a lot of flight history.
Starship is transonic, starting the belly flop phase of flight.
Yep, that belly flop phase that we perfected in the suborbital campaigns, we're entering that now.
About 16 kilometers in altitude.
Right, starting to get those Raptors ready. Should be 2 minutes away from landing burn. Again, we're going to do a flip. After we ignite those engines, we'll go from 3 down to 2 for the final phase of the landing burn and look for another soft splashdown, hopefully by our buoy and drone, which are hanging out, ready and waiting for a ship.
Come on.
Seeing all 3 center engines have entered the chill phase.
Chill down has started. I had a couple problems with getting that to work. All right, so it's now doing the little whoopity, whoopity, whoopity. Let me actually go ahead and show you this. So ship is probably about like this right
All right, less than a minute to go.
It's like here and it's turning.
The ship is making its turn for final approach.
And here's this kind of aggressive final turn that would essentially position it so it's right behind the launch and catch tower.
It's aggressive.
Flaps holding strong. Landing burn in just under 20 seconds.
Just under 20 seconds. Okay. All right. Okay, come on. Come on. Alright, crew, you better get that. You better
Ship
get
landing
that.
startup.
There's our landing burn.
Nice!
3 down to 2.
Starship has landed.
There it is! Don't go up. Don't you dare go up. Don't you go up.
As we said, we're not planning on recovering the ship today. Hey, welcome back to Earth, Starship. We are down in the Indian Ocean. Let him hear at Starbase. What a day.
What a flight.
Oh. All right. Welcome back to Earth, ship. What a day. A whole lot more to go through. As you just saw, everybody here at Starbase pretty hyped. Hey, Tyler, out of Hawthorne, how's everybody holding up?
Thank you, Dan. We had a fantastic time watching. It was another exciting Starship flight test in the books, and we hope that you enjoyed those Starlink views too. So congratulations to the team at Starbase and everyone here and around the company. So many employees contribute to the Starship program as we continue to iterate and make progress towards a multi-planetary future. So that wraps it up for us here in Hawthorne. Thank you for tuning in, and back to you guys.
Yeah, what an incredible launch today. We had successful liftoff. Booster completed its objective, successfully splashed down over in the Gulf. Obviously, we saw another amazing Starlink deploy as well from ship.
Yeah, we made it through that re-entry, testing all the different experience. We had missing tiles, gave us quite the light show. We had that Raptor relight, 3 for 3. That was ahead of re-entry, of course. And then that awesome splashdown that we just saw, including that dynamic banking maneuver to simulate RTLS when we returned to the launch site. So yeah, we promised maximum excitement, and Starship delivered.
Definitely.
Congrats to all our teammates at SpaceX and to everyone who's supporting the Starship program, and thank you to all our future customers for your support.
We'd also like to thank the fine people of Cameron County, including the residents of its newest city, Starbase, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Government of Mexico, and the Australian Space Agency.
Yeah, be sure to follow SpaceX on X for updates and about more of the exciting views we didn't get to feature on today's broadcast.
And if you're interested in more launch coverage just like this, head over to spacex.com/launches for the most up-to-date information.
All right, I will take us out. Hey, congrats, Jake and Amanda. You guys did amazing. Great job. All right, today we launched the world's biggest rocket, knocked out all of our objectives. Shout outs to every single person who made this look easy. Thank you to everybody tuning in. We're going to see you back here for the very first flight of our next generation Starship. So we'll see you then. Good night.
Good night, Dan. Woo! Yuck. Oh my gosh. Huh? Alright, I'm almost done. Oh my god, I do not have words. That was... Holy cow. That was incredible. That was absolutely incredible. That was... They did everything. The ship's aft didn't blow up this time. And it did its banking maneuver. It flipped. The buoy cam was a little... meh. But we'll probably get that drone footage relatively soon. So... That was honestly a great flight. I think everything about that flight was honestly perfect. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this launch coverage. I really hope to see you guys for Flight 12 down in Starbase, depending on when they do launch. Very excited for that flight. Very excited for the new generation of booster and ship. We are going to have a little bit of Starship downtime, which will allow me to push out some of the videos that I have been wanting to do. For example, the Starship history video, and then the second part to the second part of that actual um, the Booster 4 and Ship 20 video. So I will be pushing those out and pushing to get those out as soon as possible. And that the new Starship history videos, that new video will be going out tomorrow at about noon Eastern Central Time. It will go out at about, give or take, like 11 o'clock, and then Pacific time will probably come out around 8, 9, or 10 o'clock. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope to see you down in Starbase for Flight 12 for the first V3 full stack and the first launch of Pad 2. And yeah, I will try and cover the static fire and cryo tests of probably, maybe not the cryo tests, but hopefully the static fires of these ships and boosters and stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching this launch coverage. Hope to see you guys down in Starbase for Flight 12. This has been Matthew from Space Exploration. Peace, y'all.